Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of The Darkest Hour. Tonight is episode 65, featuring ArcaneArmor, KenKnobi, or Kenobi. I like Kenobi, personally. SoBadStrange, and TheEndBoss, the gentleman of the Hold the Line podcast. Very exciting. Let's go say hi to the boys. How's it going, gentlemen? What's going on?
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back, boys. Welcome back. Dude, first off, right off the bat, I haven't been able to catch an episode of Hold the Line the last couple episodes. EndBoss, when did you join the Hold the Line podcast?
2 episodes ago.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that's fresh.
Yeah, Odin took the Iron Mage job and had a lot on his plate and didn't really have time, conflict of interest, so he had to step down. And I was, this is a bit of an upgrade. We love EndBoss. We hate it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he ditched you guys for my team. I'll take him. Yeah. We're doing some trading. No, that's cool. I think EndBoss is definitely a great addition. EndBoss, I was looking at my production doc. I was like, I got to get EndBoss back on. Let's find a good slot for him. And then I get a message saying that you're in the Hold the Line podcast
got dragged in
now. So I was like, dude, here we go, right there.
They told me they'd pay me.
Yeah, in blue shards, in blue stones. But yeah, thanks guys for joining. It's always a pleasure having you guys on. Some of my favorite guests. Donnie, thanks for being here. Yep. Okay.
Looking good, Donnie. Looking good.
That's the SBS of this podcast.
That's right. It's the SBS move.
Yeah, exactly. Jay, are you still in the dungeon, or can you speak?
Nope, I'm good.
Nice. How are you, sir?
I'm all right.
Okay. All right. Just all right.
So you playing with Soda Poppin'? That was nice. You getting some FaceTime with the big boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Some artifacts.
Yeah, pulled a pulverizing prayer and his
That's fucking
first
insane.
warlord kill. First warlord kill. I hate it, bro. I hate it. Pulls the best artifact in the game. I'm a streamer. I hate streamers.
I feel like I didn't feel like he didn't explode with the joy.
He didn't even know what he had, bro.
I feel like you had to describe it. Like, tell him that's the fucking binding, man. That is the fucking binding right there. Pulverizing
prayer. Yeah. I think he just never played again. Like, he thought he beat the game because they said it was the best weapon, so he just deleted.
That's how you do it, though. I was I couldn't believe it.
Well, lucky Soda. Ken, how are you? It's been a while. It's good to see you, sir. I've missed you, man. How are you?
I'm great, man. Dark and Darker's back. I play video games for a living. Like, I cannot complain. Life is good.
Fuck yeah. Love to hear that. Mr. So Bad. Missed you, buddy. What is new in your life? Looking good.
Feeling good as well. Yes, thank you. Everything's really good. Obviously, the free-to-play boosted everyone you see here. Like, YouTube's good. I just went to an island yesterday. I got super sunburnt. Fell asleep.
What island?
Fell asleep. Shelter Island. It's just in the San Diego Bay. But I came out of the water. I crawled up onto a towel. I was like, I'll just hang out for a second. I don't know how long I was asleep for, but if I took my shirt off, I had on like a tank top, so the sunburn is just like everywhere but the tank top. It's very obvious.
Hot.
I'm good.
Nice.
I'm good.
That sucks. Well, put on some aloe vera. You'll be all right.
Moral of the story: never go outside, guys.
That's true. Take a sunburn if the sun doesn't see you.
Dark and darker.
EndBoss.
That's why the dungeons are dark.
Yes. Like I said, I'm so glad you're here tonight. How have you been, sir? What's new with you?
Back to Dark and Darker is very nice. I had my little fun with little Grand Theft Auto role-playing experience, which I'd like to revisit it, but man, I get to go back into the dungeons and play video games and do nothing else.
Beautiful. Nice.
I mean, when the game is good, you don't want to leave. You just don't want to stop.
Yeah, game.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I never leave.
Beautiful. And Mr. ArcaneArmor, my homie, how the hell are you, sir?
What's up, buddy?
I'm
good. I'm good. Got the kid out of the house for the longest he's ever been gone. He's
Kick him out to get a job
this week.
Oh, okay.
That's coming up. It's not too far off. I mean, he's almost 13, so it's about the time.
It's about time.
But
get him in the factory.
Yep.
Man,
yearns for the mines.
It's a double-edged sword. So he's gone, which is kind of nice because me and the wife just get to chill. But at the same time, he's my duo. Like, he's the guy that can play all the same hours that I can, because my hours are just weird. So that part kind of sucks, but I've been loving the hell out of the game, for sure.
Beautiful. Donnie, welcome back.
So,
Oh.
I had some funny sunglasses that made me look like Mr. Worldwide that I looked for. Couldn't find them. But I did find my racquetball glasses.
All right.
All right.
I'll join you then. Okay.
Ooh,
Oh, dude, we are
damn.
safe. We are
All right.
Yeah.
safe.
Watch out, boys.
Oh, looking athletic. Holy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Watch me swing
Beautiful.
what is it called? What's a racket? Is it
As-
club?
Would it be a racket?
A
A
racket?
club?
Yeah,
You mean a
racket?
racket?
Yeah, it's a racket. I don't know.
Oh no!
I played like
Holy
10
fuck,
times.
man.
Clip it.
I played like once.
Oh,
I've never
that's
played.
awesome.
I'm just guessing.
Rate the
Yeah.
glasses, though. I look
Actually, a lot of
ridiculous.
fun.
Oh, dude.
Ah.
You're like Neo from the
Neo,
Matrix,
holy
dude.
shit.
I
You
look
look like
like
Neo.
I look like
You're
I'm in
plugged
black
in.
or something.
Yeah.
So bad. What have you done to us? God damn you!
I got you. I'm a trendsetter. What can I say?
You
I
are.
need to go knock
First
on my
player
neighbor's
to ever
doors
play
and
Dark
ask.
and Darker.
There
How
he
the fuck do people
is.
play
Find
like
the shade.
this?
All right, what the fuck?
Yeah.
All right, Captain America. Take it easy.
Beautiful. Well, boys, as you guys alluded to, the game feels like it's back after a bit of a dry spell. We are, back on Steam, Epic Game Store. The game had an amazing content drop. What 3 weeks ago at this point now? 2-3 weeks? I don't even know. It's flown by.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree. The game is 1,000% addictive again. I'm super all in. Can't stop playing it. Addicted to Druid and Barbarian especially. I want to ask you guys about Druid right off the bat. What do you guys think? Let's go around the circle here. Oh, it's a circle, right? Yeah, it looks like a circle. Let's go around the circle. I want to hear what everyone... I know what Jay and Donnie think, but I want to hear what you hold the line dudes feel about the Druid. Let's start with you, Ken.
Well, I probably have the least amount of time played on Drew because I don't really play it.
Fair enough.
But I do
played
play
against it, though.
against it all the time.
Yeah.
And I will disclose, I will say the class is cool. I
Yeah.
like it thematically. I was pretty against the shapeshift early on, like playing the public test server because it felt really
hated it.
janky. I hated it.
Hmm.
It felt really janky and shitty on the test server. They
At
definitely
first, yeah.
cleaned it up. They cleaned it up a lot before they released, and that's good.
Rip.
I still don't like the shapeshifting that much, but I do love the druid spells. I think all the spells are really cool. I like the Groot, I like the bind, I like the heals, I like the utility spells.
Mm-hmm.
I like spell casting druid. I'm just not a huge fan of like the shapeshifts. They have their place. They're fine, but just generally speaking, I wish they leaned more into like the spells on druid. If I could, I wish I could play 10 spell druid. That's really what I want. If I
Same.
could just play 10 spell druid, I would be in there.
Yep, I'm with you. I also went 10 spell druid or another active ability, another skill that isn't shape-shifting or spell memory. I would like to see. I don't know what that would be. I have no clue, but
Like Charm Familiar, bro. Or Tame
Sure.
Familiar. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
tame beast. Like you go into the ice caves and like you hit your skill. You hit E key on a ice wolf and it follows you around for 5 minutes. That would be fucking amazing.
That'd be cool. That'd be
That
really
That sounds
cool.
I feel
great.
like there'd be like a big cooldown form, like you've got your 5 like basic forms, and then you
Boomkin,
can replace it
baby.
with like a big, like a treant form that you turn into, and you just get a ton of melee damage and armors. Something cool. Fuck
Trent could be,
knows.
like Trent form could be heals. Like you could do boom chicken for the damage spells. You could do some cool stuff with druid.
Just
I
rip
like
it
what
off
it's so
of
far.
WoW.
Dude, WoW did it
Turn
great.
into
WoW
an
did it
elephant.
great.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy spell druid as well, man. I like going in with either a mason ball or a spear in a book, and just standing back with the healing spells, Dreamfire when you have Nature's Touch on your homies, and you've trapped someone in between a door with Treant and the Thorn Wall, and they can't get out, and you're stabbing them in the head or Dreamfiring them and watching everyone's health just skyrocket up. It just feels good. It feels damn good. And then you see crazy shit that Jay pulls off, where you fly across an entire module in like 3 seconds, and then turn into a rat, go behind someone, turn into a panther, and kill a warlock in 2 swings of your paw. That shit's insane. I'm not that cracked. But yeah, the druid's got so much in the kit, and we're really just seeing the early iteration of it, right? There's still so much more to come. There's Shapeshift Mastery 2 that can go on your skill slots, right? So imagine how many more animals are coming. Imagine a shapeshift only druid with like 10 animal forms or something. That'd be insane. Mr. SoBad, what are you thinking of the druid?
I'm with Ken. I think it's just really, really cool. Coming from the test server, I also didn't really care for it. And then its iteration onto live is fantastic. It's probably one of the coolest classes in any game I've ever played. Like the POV transition, like the rat strats, the like when I came out of troll with a pelt and there's barely any time in the match and I like rat jump through the window and I land in a ranger trap and just instantly die. And like it doesn't matter how much your kit is, it's just over. Like that part's really awesome. Last night I was in Crypts and I was chasing a druid. Yeah, it's hard to tell what gear they have compared to a lot of other classes. But he went rat form, got hit, instantly died. I go to loot him. He's got 20k in gear. He has like legendary rings of quickness, legendary padded tunic, legendary like laced shoes, like full legos. But like you would have never known because he just got one hit. And like that stuff I think is really, really, really cool. So I can't wait to see what else they do with it. I think it's one of the strongest classes for like a first pass that we've had. Because like Bard was pretty weak, Warlock was all right. After people learned how to like deal.
Warlock was perceived as weak. Nobody knew how good it was when it came out. It was like sleeper.
It takes some time.
I mean, I'll be honest. Yeah, me and all my friends are like, Druid fucking sucks. So we saw someone on YouTube, and we're like, oh, this is how you're supposed to play it. Okay, this makes sense.
Stat stacking.
I remember Warlock like first like they dropped the notes first, right? Like they told us about it. First thing I thought it was magic healing. I don't know how people instantly hop on the.
Oh, and it's scaled. It's scaled like 1-to-1.
Yeah,
you can get 50 healing. It was not fair.
It was unkillable.
Yeah.
And then Hydra splitting all that first day when people didn't know what a Hydra was.
I'm talking before Hydra, like the first iteration, no Hydra.
Yeah, when it first dropped, it didn't have Hydra.
You got 4 spells.
It wasn't that good when it first dropped.
Yeah. I remember I played Shadow Vampire though, and that was insane because Phantomize was the first thing we'd ever seen, a version of Phantomize in the game. So it's always that like first and second day of seeing something where people just don't understand it yet, and it pops off.
Right. Yeah, there's a build that I really want to test out that I haven't had a chance to yet. That I just saw on YouTube, I think like 2 days ago. But it's the buff debuff build, duration build for Druid, where essentially you just have a ball and a mace and heals, and your Dream Walk or Spirit Walk, whatever it's called, lasts for like 4 to 5 seconds, and the cooldown is like 4 seconds. So you constantly are just so you're constantly just harassing, and then every time, and then you have the Thorns perk on as well, the 5 true physical damage perk. So you're getting hit, instantly essentially phantomizing away. You can still cast spells on them, and then poke again. Only a few seconds later, you're right back in Spirit Walk. It's like an amazing harassment build. Very fucking annoying and looks fun, but probably shitty to play against, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I want to try that out. That sounds super cool. Someone in chat is not happy that I am sharing the business on that build. My bad.
Secret tech, bro. Nah.
Let me ask you guys this: do you feel like we're getting like the League of Legends treatment a little bit with these new classes? Like, you know how in League all the new classes come out with all these crazy new features, and they have like such a wide and varied kit, and then the old classes feel a little limited.
We'll get to that in a second.
Like a power creep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually am glad you asked that. Let's see what AA and NBoss think about Druid, and then we can broach that topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think, Druid, NBoss?
I had nothing to compare it to besides like WoW Druid, since I never experienced Dungeons and Dragons in any format. But the whole shape-shifting is incredibly fun. They all have like small uses, but they're not overwhelmingly powerful unless you stack into it, which people were figured out quickly. But Druid is a great addition to the game, and it's just been a ton of fun to play with. And jumping through doors and healing, it's kind of nice because it's not like just the Druid. He's a well-rounded support. You're not really stuck into one particular aspect with the summoning and the root wall, and the Brute, may it rest in peace, was incredibly broken for the first couple of days. That was
way too good.
So more tweaking, more spells, more shape-shifting forms. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm just gonna wait.
Oh yeah, Scott. Sorry, go ahead if you're not done.
Oh, I was gonna say, because if you look at where Warlock is comparatively, like we were talking about, how it's like such a drastic difference in the two types of character that we have when you add stuff like Hydra and the other additions. I don't know what else we're going to get for Druid to see where it's like a finished class, but I'm excited to see where that one goes. It could be completely different.
It feels pretty finished already, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more coming. A lot more.
Leaked.
Hey, what do you think of the druid?
Yeah, I don't know that I have a whole lot more to contribute. I feel like I'm just going to be echoing everyone else. I will definitely reiterate, though, it does feel the most fun to play of any class. When Odin was hyping it up day of release, he was just saying how great Druid was going to be and how fun. I was like, I don't know, man. My excitement level is like a 6 out of 10. I played it on the test server for a day and a half, and it felt good. But I really didn't think that they were going to have made that much progress on it. And I didn't even touch it for the first 3 days of the wipe. I just went right back to the old tried and true cleric, got him up 30 or 40 levels. Then I leveled a fighter next, got him 30 or 40. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to play this druid. And then for the next 80 levels, it was just druid, basically.
Yeah.
It was like, I became instantly obsessed with it. The movement tech is the most satisfying thing by far for me. But I just love, I mean, Ken's really fond of saying, and I agree, give people choices, give classes different varying pre-styles or play styles rather, varying play styles until we get formal subclassing. And right now it feels like with Warlock and with Druid, you can kind of pseudo subclass with both of them. And I just hope that maybe what you're going to talk about is, and this kind of alludes to what Donnie was talking about. I hope before Iron Mace starts digging into the D&D bucket too much further for new hotness, I would rather them go back and flesh out the original classes a little bit more. So I know we've got Sorcerer coming, but if after they get that to its prototype style, let's go back and let's revisit Fighter, let's revisit Cleric. You know, Wizard's gonna, like, the nice thing about Sorcerer coming is it means Wizard is going to get a rework by default. But I just hope they don't sleep on Cleric and Fighter.
Yeah, well said. And to Donnie's question that he proposed a little bit ago about League of Legends, new champs come out. I mean, that's like, in a way, it's like a semblance of power creep, right? Like, and also as time goes on and as the dev team gets comfortable working on the project, and as they go through trial and error and they see feedback and what actually works, obviously they're going to get better. Like, everyone improves at their job if they're halfway good at it, right? So of course they're going to get better at class design. Of course they're going to get better at making perks and spells and abilities. I agree that a really great move would be to maybe put a pause on new hotness, as you're saying, Scott, and maybe give the fighter, the cleric, the wizard a facelift. Maybe go back and tinker with some stuff under the hood and modernize those classes, because they're good. Don't get me wrong; they're fun to play, fun enough, but they do feel like they came early, like they were just early to the show. You know,
same.
Yeah, I think that would be a huge win, and I think the community, generally speaking, especially the old schoolers that have been playing for a year plus, would love that. Obviously, the noobs, they wouldn't really fucking know what's going on. They don't know the context of what classes used to be like. They would just see new shit to the new game that they're playing, right? So it wouldn't really matter. But to the old school folks, I think it'd be a huge win.
Yeah, just to add on to that, like before they were focusing on like new classes, before they were working on Bard, before they were working on Warlock, before they were working on Druid, every couple of patches you would get like a new, like a Druid or Wizard would get like a new spell this patch. Like, oh, that's cool. Fighter would get a new perk. The Barbarian would get a new weapon. You get hand crossbows for the Rogue, and every patch I felt like at least one class was getting something, and that feels like it's been on the back burner while they've been working on more classes, which isn't a bad thing. It's just I think we have a lot of classes right now, and I would just like to see them flesh things out, make more classes more diverse, and maybe pump the brakes on class additions. Even though I do want to see Sorcerer, I do want to see Monk, I do want to see Paladin. Like, I want all these things, but you got to manage your resources, you know.
Even then, you know, we're not getting another class for like 9 months.
Yeah.
You know?
How long was it? This one was like what? 6, 7? No, it was like almost a year, right? 10 months.
Yeah, well, what if they have like a Paladin pack on the Unreal Marketplace? Like, maybe
when did Warlock come out? Early access, or was it like playtest?
Like June or July?
When did
I don't
Warlock come out? Was Warlock
Yeah, I mean-
playtest 5 or or after Blacksmith?
Well,
I can't
you had
remember, actually.
Bard.
I feel like it was after Blacksmith.
Warlock
It was post Blacksmith because Bard was playtest.
Was it
Yeah.
Yeah.
like September, October?
It was
Something
Bard,
like that.
then
No,
Warlock, then
the
Bard
first
rework.
Warlock was
Warlock rework.
pre-Blacksmith. I'm pretty sure. Like,
Oh, okay, so it looks like
to
Warlock
be.
came out in September.
Hmm.
Thank you, Odin.
Yeah, so 9 months.
9 months, yeah.
okay,
Got
so
another
that would've been
9 months.
post-Blacksmith.
Okay.
I guess
Yeah,
I have
fair.
my hot take
But-
is that I feel like a lot of the classes are in a really good spot. Like some of them feel finished to the point where we don't really, in my opinion, need to go like flesh out fighter anymore. Today I just started my fighter guide and there's like really diverse subclasses of fighter already. You have like 3/5 plate with movement speed, you have like 5 out of 5 plate, and then it's got a ton of different skills. Most of them are just off meta, but some of them are really fun, like the update to Victory Strike, where you can actually use that to do either increased damage or just life drain consistently. Like once you learn how many hits it takes to kill something, you're always getting 15% health back. So it kind of feels like a little bit of like a melee warlock in a way now. But like I'd rather have sorcerer and monk in like the next year and a half than like a redone cleric and fighter. Like maybe cleric can use some work out of any of the classes, but I don't know. I feel like barbarian and fighter are like done.
So you would say you'd
Hmm.
want like sorcerer and monk instead of like maybe 5 new spells on each class, new perks for each class, just like new weapons.
Yeah, like I honestly I would rather have like 12 classes, like this huge range, as long as they're fairly balanced. Like Druid's new, it has its strengths and weaknesses, but it feels like it kind of fit into the balance. And now Warlock
Yeah.
is kind of like fit into the balance. So
I don't
That's
think it
just
needs
me.
to be either or. I feel like
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
folks
true.
some folks on the team could just update some perks and skills, maybe create a couple of new ones for some of the older classes while someone else on the team is, building out the next class. I feel like both things can be done.
True.
We'll see how it goes. So hold the line, boys. What do you guys think the game needs next to keep the player base satiated, the new folks and the old, to keep the player base up, to hold retention?
Beep, beep, beep. Matchmaking, better matchmaking. That's all. That's like number one thing.
Well, they've announced that's coming, which is great.
They're working on it. Just to iterate for the people watching, like the matchmaking system that they have in place sucks ass. The map rotation has great intent. Like you want to make it so people can play whatever map they want, but it leads to unnecessarily dead lobbies a lot of the time. Like there's 50,000 people playing this game, and if I just hit the play button at the wrong moment, I see 0, and that makes me want to log off. And there's lots of stream sniping, there's lots of cheating, there's a lot of issues with the matchmaking. Iron Mason knows about the issues. They're working on a new matchmaking system, but
Right.
I feel like that would be the most bang for their buck for like just making the game better with a single system.
I will say, I feel like that applies to High Roller though.
But even in
I know.
normals, I
Norms
get
too.
dead normal
Norms too.
lobbies. If you just hit the
Yeah.
play button on the last 30 to 10 seconds, you'll just get a
Happened
dead
to
lobby
me
because-
earlier today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
I
just
had
like
one
3
team with
times
me.
today. 3 times.
And like,
feel
sure,
like
us veteran players
solos-
know,
I feel like solos fill up pretty easy, no matter when I
Mhm.
hit it. But I think
Yeah.
it's more so teams.
That's gonna be a
team
majority of the
lobbies.
players though, solos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think
boys.
another great thing that Iron Mace should consider is pushing that randomization factor in dungeons, mix shit up a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
I would rather them fix the issues first, like the dead lobbies and shit.
So, are you talking about procedural
desync.
generation?
In a way, yeah, like similar.
Even just randomizing mobs is like a starting point. yeah.
Sure,
Randomized
like
that
mobs,
would-
randomized spawn
that would be-
locations, I think would be good too.
randomized gold
Yeah.
chests
Agreed.
where wraiths are, shit like that. Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Bring
Um,
back the other
it would
Chris
be-
maps. Where'd they go? We've only got
It-
like 2 in rotation for a while now.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
Coliseum is gone, right?
Yeah.
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 Which is like,
Sucks.
why remove the maps? It's basically randomizing the maps by having so
Mhm.
many layouts to a point where it just feels random, right?
Yeah.
I don't really
Well,
get that
it
move.
probably has something to do with like the new static exits. Maybe they don't know how to do it on all the different random ones.
Or maybe they're just not done with it. I
Sucks,
don't know.
probably.
Or maybe they're
Yeah,
taking
could be.
Coliseum and they're using it as their arena map. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but you're gonna
Could
scrap
be.
the whole map though?
Yeah.
I hope not.
I hope not either. It's a fair map.
They do like the removal of content. I'll give it to them. It's so weird to me though. It's like, why make the stuff and then take it out later? I just don't know.
I mean, if it's not working, if there's when they were talking about it, I mean, it's crazy to think about how far we've come from playtests where everybody was playing Crypts and we're like, this is really hard. And then it's like, no, you guys don't understand. Crypts is like the second layer. There's going to be a first layer. It's like, ooh, this mysterious first layer. And then we get the pile of runes, nasty garbage. I didn't like it. I'm a cleric. What am I going to do? But the whole system was like, everybody knew it was going to be the 3-layer cake. And when they added the 3-layer cake in, it wasn't really the greatest tasting thing. So they took it away and they're starting to work on it. And I think that says a lot if they're willing to take away something like that. That was so not just widely not well received, but also that they're willing to be like, yeah, maybe this doesn't work out as well as we thought. We'll figure out how to make it work and try again later.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'll say it's super cool that having played for the beginning, the amount of like wild things that have happened since the start, like ruins or like some insanely OP spell or like a consistent like Colosseum comes out and then it's gone. Like it's kind of cool how much each wipe sort of changes. Other than last wipe, right? Like last wipe was sort of weird, but like all the rest,
a placeholder, but
yeah.
outside of that,
something always happens that I like. As far as what they could add, I think a POI system rather than randomization would be cool.
Ooh, okay.
Like,
yeah,
what
I've been
would be
talking
in a
about it for a while.
POI though?
Yeah, can you give us some examples, like on a couple maps?
Gold pile in ice caves. That was a POI.
Yeah, that one was.
True.
We have no
I
circle
hate
now.
ice now. Yeah. Go ahead.
So we have no circle now. Like there are just times where you load into a match and you might not see anybody just by circumstance, by chance, and that's unfortunate. But I do love the fact that we have no BR circle, and I think that is great for the game. But since we have no BR circle, to subsidize action in the dungeon, points of interest would do that. If I had a gold pile that I would go for and worth fighting over, that would be great. If golden key rooms were readily available on every map that I could bring a golden key, I can go hit it and it'd be worth it, that would be a point of interest. Certain elite mobs that are like worth farming are points of interest. Anything along those lines would be great. Just something worth fighting over.
Yeah, it was so fun, like back in the day on Ruins, going for the worm and trying to get a key and then going to the rusty key door, and or trying to hide and wait for someone to open up the rusty key door and then kill them and take. That was such a fun era.
Even the gold is worth fighting for, dude. I've gotten some bloodbaths over those ore spawns.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like those conflict minerals.
Oh shit, real talk right there. But sorry, I stepped on you so bad. Go ahead.
Oh, like that. I mean, that pretty much covers it. I feel like with Goblin, like Goblin for me is the best example because it has the most POIs. Like there's 2 bosses. There's always combat at the bosses, and there's always combat in the vault. Like long after the map is like 60% done, you still have people that come down and like go into the vault. So you just have like these situations where there's constant PvP. Then that like the static exit next to quad elevator like always has somebody camping it. And so then when you talk about like ice caves, like what's the harm of leaving like a gold pile there? Like it was a spot where you always at some point in the map you're like, well, let's just go check it out. And then there's like a 2v2v2 happening there or whatever. So like some sort of POI, because I just feel like ice cave is like this long drawn out thing, and now like it takes 4 players to get dragon. So ice is for me is like the least player driven map. Like
it feels like there's nothing in there.
There's nothing to do. Like I don't know.
Ice Caves literally went from being my favorite map in the game to my least favorite overnight.
Same. Yep.
Yeah, same here.
It does feel bigger than Crypts. Like, is it confirmed bigger to be than Crypts?
Are they both?
I think it's the same size.
Same size.
Yeah. It does. Feel
it just feels way larger.
I think it's
because you have to go through
density of mobs.
Yeah, maybe that's the right thing.
Like, you can't even get out of a module sometimes.
Yeah, like every module's they're pretty well twisty turvy throughout. The way Ice Caves is designed, I like the way there's a lot of like upper and lower layers to one individual module, but you can't go just like up a ladder or up a stairwell. You have to go like the spiral stairway and like 3 different paths to get to the second floor, and it's obnoxious, but it's like it leads to a lot of, my opinion, like game sense, which is helpful because the map is absolute filled with ass.
Just a side
creatures.
note about Ice Caves. I feel like they should just like not let you queue for Ice Caves unless you hit like 20, 50 things.
Yeah, I feel
like
every
if
time
you're
I
a
go
new
in there,
player,
they die. Everybody
if you're a
dies.
new player on Steam, your first time playing, you're like, ooh, I'm gonna go to the Ice Caves. You're fucking dead in 30 seconds. You're getting mauled by kobolds. And you're like, yeah, never again. Logging out.
When I was doing my little Timmy saving thing, I try to get on Ice Caves, and everybody I see there they die so fast. It's the fastest. It's
The
like
kill feed's beautiful.
The sea turtle is trying to go to the ocean.
they have like an 8-second lifespan.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like an antelope being born in the African savannah. It's like flip a coin, dude.
Yep. Even the mom's gone before that thing can walk. Yeah, it's over.
Brutal.
Yeah, I've long held the opinion I want bespoke maps. Like I would love sort of like the Tarkov approach to map making, where it's just one set thing, you randomize spawns, and you let players go at it. Add fun POIs. I think that'd be way more fun for me personally.
EndBoss,
I mean,
what's the
I'm
game
so-
next?
very well.
Sorry, go ahead.
What's that?
I was
So
gonna...
Tarkov does POI as well. Sorry.
No, it does. You're right. It does. Yeah, yeah.
It does, yeah. Especially with the
Um,
bosses, right? Like having like a thematic boss per map that may or may not be there, and then has increased loot. Because like for me, even right now, like the GK is worth a lot, but like typically when I see a wraith or like a skeleton champion, I'm not like any more excited than just like a skeleton. Like I'm just trying to like get through that shit to like get to wherever I'm going.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, just some examples of like a POI could be if you clear like church and I don't like trap room, like there's a lever somewhere. If you hit both, it will spawn like a gold pile in vault in crypts. And then the same thing with ice cave. Like I don't know, I don't play ice cave. EndBoss would fill you in here, but like if you pull a lever somewhere and then somewhere else, it puts the gold pile back where it used to be. So then you have people like constantly like rotating across the map to these like lever locations, and other people would just sit and wait at like where the treasure pile will be, hoping other people pull the levers. So like that, I feel like just that alone would already like bring a bunch of PvP to those two maps.
You want to drive players around the map. That's what you want to like. Give them a reason to go from A to B to C and make like a kind of path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, currently when I go to ice caves, the way I play it is, all right, team, are we going to secure the elevator room in the north, or are we going to secure the abyss drop area? And that's our options. Like, all right, let's just make our way to the elevator so we have a sure escape, or let's make our way to abyss so we can jump down. And that's where we go every time.
I think.
Boat too.
I
like the boat, but we always like we have a thing down now where it's like, all right, we're gonna lock down elevator. All right, we're gonna lock down abyss. Of course, yeah, the boat is an option, but you can get that elevator last second, you know. Whereas the boat, there's a final time you can jump on that boat on the ferry. But yeah, I agree that I wish there was more interesting things to do. Who knows? Maybe one day there will be. Anyway,
I do like the idea of the boss spawns, though. That's something I always wanted to like randomize boss spawns, and something that they can give you or a chance to give you like sub bosses could be more interesting with like fragments of something where you like fragments of gold, even, you know, just like something you can do like a renewable currency to buy something from a vendor. Like, oh, you know, like 10 wraith fragments gets you 1 purple wraith crystal, and it's a crafted item. Who gives a shit? Just something to make a extracting after killing it valuable. Make them drive them to the sub bosses. Make them more expensive. Give them a unique drop.
Okay, Scott, what does the game need next?
Oh, we've touched on it a little bit. Whatever it's going to take to make HR great again. I don't know.
That was going to be my next subject.
It's just not worth the price of admission. One, literally, I don't think 100 gold is a good idea. I don't know that that's enough of an argument to keep RMTers out or people that don't belong there out. It just like it feels like another Ken phrase. It's a tax on the poor. It's yeah,
it is a tax on the
feel
poor.
good.
It's a tax on Timmy. Yeah, not for us.
Yeah,
but Timmy, 100 gold's a lot. Yeah.
Right, and I've been having a lot of fun with the quest, but I feel like at some point you do start to pick whether or not you want to continue questing or start a different character and start questing with them a little bit, which, by the way, with the shared stash is just phenomenal. You don't feel like you're wasting your time and effort whenever you pick up a class that you don't play as much, because then, hey, maybe I find a blue crystal ball while I'm on my level 6 bard. And it's like, oh, great. I can just give that to my cleric and deal with that awful quest, which needs change. Iron Mace, please. 3 blue crystal balls. No, it's terrible. Make it 1 blue crystal ball or 3 any rarity, because the drop rate for crystal balls sucks. Been stuck on that for a while.
Even if it's minimum blue, because I had to get a bunch of purple ones. It's like, oh, these blues will work for sure, right? My first time doing the quest, they didn't. I was saving
Yeah,
them.
that is
Got to the
stupid.
quest. I had all these purple balls, just useless.
I feel like I've been very fortuitous. I have
Giggity.
so many blue balls. I've got blue balls for days.
All right.
Oh, boys. But yeah, I hear you, Scott. I was actually going to ask everyone about HR. I have no interest in it. I don't think it's fun. I don't enjoy it. I like going in sub 25 lobbies, getting a cool kit,
With
and then
plus
just
20
playing.
all on your barbarian.
Well,
Wearing
yeah.
blue loose trousers.
Yes, that is pretty fun. I literally go in naked with like a necklace and a ring on. I'm like, hey boys, time to chop some heads. My Sterling axe, yeah, just a naked fucking. What's the new skin with the +3 vigor?
It's a lichen.
The Frostwalker.
Yeah.
Frostwalker. I've run Frostwalker my barb, and it's.
Oh God, that is such a
Oh,
horrifying
jeez.
skin.
I know.
God, it's just awful, man.
Yeah, so you go in
Like-
naked with like shoes
Oh,
and a
yeah,
Sterling
you
axe
look
and a
like-
ring on, and you look disgusting. You look like a
You
bloated
look like somebody
corpse.
fucking left a fucking bar of soap in the shower for like 6 months. It's just like some wrinkled, writhing mess.
I love it.
It's just fucking vile. And then like when you have no gloves equipped and you look at your hands, I hate that. It's just disgusting. There's no
Do you,
redeeming thing.
What's it called? What's the fear where it's like a mini holes? You know what I mean? Like of all the
Tripod
tiny
No,
little
phobia.
holes.
I don't want to.
Do you have that?
I do.
Yeah, I get that.
It's
Yeah,
just
that fucks with me
awful.
too.
Wait, what
It's
are we
fucking
talking
everyone.
about? Sorry.
I'll send you some videos
Like
later. don't
all
worry.
the tiny little hole fear, like of them all put together. Trypophobia. Is that what it's called?
Trypophobia is like a fear of
Don't
a
Google
cluster
it.
of tiny holes and shit.
What?
Just a cluster. It's
Yeah.
awful.
Don't
who
Google
would
it.
be
It's
afraid
horrifying.
of that?
Me.
Back to the
It-
leaderboard.
It's
I don't want to talk
I don't
about
think-
that.
Back
Okay.
to
I'm not
HR.
afraid of it. It just makes me a
Back
little
to
sick
HR.
looking at
It's
it.
disgusting.
I don't know why.
It is disgusting.
makes my
It's not fun
skin
to look
crawl.
at.
Gives
Yeah.
you a little- ooh.
I gotta Google this.
That's
What the
spine
fuck are you
tingle.
talking
Don't
about?
Google
No,
this.
you
Don't
don't
Google
Google
this.
it,
You're gonna
Dave. Don't
regret
do-
it. You're
don't
gonna
do
What's it
regret
called? What's it called?
Trypophobia.
Try.
Well, here's what HR can have. I got it.
Let's say
Yeah,
so
go
back
ahead.
to
Well,
HR.
so,
So,
People are afraid of a honeycomb. Like what the?
oh no,
Oh,
look at the
honeycomb's
pictures.
not bad.
Version
Go to the
Oh,
images
look at the
section.
Look at the bad
Alright.
ones,
That
bro.
is weird.
Tell me you're not
There's-
terrified.
I'm not terrified. It's fine.
Okay, well then you don't have the right brain. Anyways,
it just makes me a little sick.
It looks whatever. Now on the tongue,
Mm.
okay, that looks actually pretty bad. On the tongue looks
Yeah.
bad.
yeah.
I'll give you that one.
Oh, yeah, it looks
Okay,
really
all right.
weird.
Look like a gross
But
strawberry.
here, we talk about how artifacts need to be more readily available. HR could have sub bosses that are like Nightmare Plus that have a chance to drop like a little 1 out of 10 fragment, like I was talking about earlier, and then you can turn it in for like a chance at an artifact, something like that, to draw people into HR, to draw them to POIs. It's like a win for every single point of that, because now people will be trying to get to the sub bosses. You'll try to find the vault room because you want to see if there's an elite wraith or an elite champion in there for a chance at a fragment, because that's something unique to HR, and it starts pumping the uniques into the lobbies a lot faster, gives people a chance to actually go in there and move around the map. It could do a lot to have more in the side of like difficulty facing mobs in HR. And to give it like a more of a spin, if anybody's ever played a Diablo style game or PoE, how monsters are elites and they have affixes, you could have an elite wraith with a lightning affix. I don't fucking know. It slows you on hit if it's ice, or it like does fire damage. You know, just adding affixes to it and give them a little more zazz, drive people around the map. It's a complete win.
Hmm.
And the artifacts in the economy too.
So HR feels like it's harder just for the sake of being harder.
Yes.
You load into
Yeah.
HR. There's a million nightmare skeletons. Thanos is running around trying to kill you, and you've defied the odds. You kill them all, and for what? They don't drop anything. Like they're just harder.
Bow.
They were harder
Yeah.
for the sake of being harder. They're just an obstacle, and I don't get rewarded for like overcoming that obstacle. That always feels bad. I always feel like the base level mobs are not nearly as rewarding as they should be in the game. They're not even worth the time to loot most of the time unless you're just questing. That's the only time I loot mobs is when I need bones or fucking skulls.
Right.
We're doing 0 to hero runs to feel real satisfying in HR. Coming up, starting with nothing and leaving with like a full kit of purples and blues and not like terribly statted. It feels really good. It's not
Yeah.
like that's the intended game mode, but that's like, HR is kind of like an experimental, I think, choose your own adventure. And that was part of the problem with the all the last seasons, is the leaderboard forced you into like a repetitive grind that wasn't really fun.
Mhm.
It was just there to be on the leaderboard. And that's why I was talking about proposing my leaderboard system, where they go back to the shitty old system where it's like, your demigod is the top 500 from each old category. So you have the top 500 extractors, the top 500 PvPers, the top 500 treasure collectors. And when you load into a lobby, you know what you're going to be going for when you load in. If you're the PvPer, you're W keying those spawns. If you're trying to go get treasure, you're going to get away from the PvPers and try and rat most extracts. Well, you're going to try and bunker down an extract. But it gives you a clear-cut idea of something to do in every single HR match and keep focusing on it and keep staying up there. And then the demigod gets picked from those people, so you're always competing to get the top spot. It's just, I think it'd create more fun dynamic between players too. It gives people something to do.
Well, even then, old
But you're not
leaderboard is like
forced.
7 leaderboards, you know? Like, it's so much more like you're saying, and do whatever you want at that point.
I don't mind that system, but I think you should do the WoW way of doing it, like how they did Grandmaster for WoW Classic. Like if you ever get on that leaderboard, then you're
locked in it.
Well, yeah, it's not that you're locked in it, but you have that title for the whole season. You know what I mean? So that way you don't have to consistently stay top 500. Yeah. And that way it can recycle and people can come in and out of it.
I agree. It'd be nice to just get people on there, but it's also because a lot of people don't want to go in and go, all right, I have to go kill X monster and loot Y treasure. It's like you got the PvPers going in there and just hard W keying off the spawns, trying to get as many kills. It puts people in the control of having fun, I think, instead of just going in and shitting on everything. Do what the meta says.
So what do you guys think of this idea? Get rid of HR, and I've said this before, I brought it up before in the podcast, maybe even with you guys before, I don't know. Ditch HR and have a Diablo 2 style difficulty system, like normal Nightmare Hell, or like normal hard Nightmare, or something like that you progress through as you get stronger as a character. Or would that suck? What do you guys think?
It would force you into the bracket after you hit a certain threshold. Like you'd play, let's say, for example, 100 normal games, you get whatever rank, and then boost you up to normal, then boost you up to hell. And then once you're there, you're there.
Something like that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have it like perfected in my head exactly how it would work, but instead
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, something similar to that. I obviously the idea is not fleshed out and perfect, but I'm just not a fan of Norm's HR. I don't like that binary system. I wish there was something else.
I feel like that just punishes you for playing though. It's like you really like normals, right? You don't like HR. And if you play the game enough, you have no choice now. You're stuck in HR, even naked or not, you know?
I think it's kind of like, sounds like similar into how Hunt Showdowns matchmaking would put you into lobbies, like based on your star rating, I guess. And then people would, and then they would just effectively tank their MMR to get down into where they want it to be anyways. So it just leads to the same systems of people abusing it back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're like not locked into the next layer, but people will find a way. They'll start new characters. They'll go back to Timmy stomping.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution is. I know that I'm not a fan of HR, but I don't know what I would be a fan of. it's kind of a conundrum, you know.
So we were talking. So why are you not a fan of HR? Like why don't you like HR? What's the problem for you?
I don't like that there is a huge drop off of players that actually go in there, so you're going to see like the same people over and over again. I don't like, and look, I can take on nightmare mobs. It's not hard for me. I've been playing a long time. Thanos, you can kill him. It's not impossible. Maybe for Timmy, but for us, we know how to do this shit, right?
Nah, he fucks me up.
It still fucks me up too, but I can at least kill Thanos. I can kill HR bosses. I've soloed the HR Lich, my Warlock. It can be done, but I don't enjoy the difficulty of the mobs. I don't enjoy the slog of having to go through tons of red and black mobs. It kind of just sucks. It's kind of annoying.
So I've always said, like, you're paying an anti-fee. You're paying money to go into a less fun lobby, and that's always like kind of felt weird to me.
Yeah,
when I could just for free, I could just queue for a normal lobby that is easier to get through the PvE, less taxing. And sure, there's gonna be some Timmies and some nakeds in there, but like a lot of the time I play normals, there are geared players in there and veteran players, and you still get good fights with less hassle, and like that's always great.
Two short-term things that we've kind of touched on that I think they could do to make it better immediately. Number one, just lower the HP of the nightmare mobs. If you keep the same danger and lethality and attack patterns that they have, making them a little bit more interesting, I don't mind them being difficult, but I hate the fact that if you aggro 3 at the same time, you're probably dead if you're a solo. Like, that's rough. And I know we probably shouldn't get down into the discussion about whether or not HR is really designed for solos, which is clearly not. The game really isn't designed for solos, but either way, if you just reduce the HP a little bit and then make them more rewarding to kill, like, that's something you can do next hotfix and make it a ton better.
Well, you remember long ago they made it so nightmare mobs guaranteed blue and higher items. Like, what happened to that? You know?
Love that.
Now I kill them, I get a gray pair of cloth pants.
Yeah,
Like,
the
maybe
amount of
like
white
lock that
and
back
gray.
in.
Yeah,
Right. That
I'm
needs
with
to be
I'm with
gone.
Jay and Ken. I don't loot anything. Like if it's not a sub boss or like an actual boss, I'm just killing it so I can go toward the next thing.
Yep.
I don't know. I
But-
love loot. I love loot. I'm a Diablo player. I love checking to see what the hell item it is. Is it green, blue? And then I like, even if I don't care about the item that's on it, I like to see what it dropped so that I like put a little part of my brain. All right, so I killed the demon dog today. He dropped a lot of books, a lot of Chris daggers, a lot of crystal balls. So like I make a compendium in my brain, just like making a stupid little filing cabinet of all the things I know where they drop, and they drop more often from this, and I have better chances, better quality. It's stupid, but I just like to put that sort of thing in my head. That's so I like checking every single
I'm the same way.
corpse.
It's just not
It's
worth
dumb.
it right now. Like if it was
No.
worth it, I would do it.
It's just for that little bit of hit, like maybe this has actually got a good ring.
Oh.
Ooh, and it rolls something nice. Ooh, shiny.
Ooh, piece
That's
of cake.
it hits my little dopamine brain, and I keep going.
I will say with TheEndBoss, the 0-0 thing is correct though. Like if I just go in mostly naked or whatever, and I just start killing things and looting things within like a module or two, I'm in pretty much like full green plus, green, blue, purple
But-
maybe.
The other part is that gameplay loop feels good.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the normals loop. It's like normals busted mode, like you go in there and instead of getting like a couple of extra greens and maybe, ooh, it's a blue. It's like, oh, fuck yeah. I got a bunch of purples and they're all really nice stats. And maybe even I found a Legio down in Inferno and I'm actually stacked up. Like that's sort of like enhanced version of what a normal feels like. So
I
maybe
feel
we
like
can
that
work
should-
on that.
That's like kind of the genre,
Yeah,
Like,
that's
what
what
you're
I was
supposed
saying.
to do is you go in, you acquire the loot, and then you wear it, and that's not your loot.
But it's like
Yeah.
it's a different game that we're talking about than, like an extract, bring your full kit in. And then once you've gotten into the cycle of bringing in that full kit, you've broken down the core of the fun where you go and like Ken's talking about the looting, the actual finding of the gear. You don't have to find the gear. The gear you're going to find is going to be on players. So you have to supplement it with more of like a PvP heavy side of it. And it's like 3 different versions of the same game that are all really fun. We can all enjoy them. We just have to find a way.
Well, it kind of sounds like we already have the way because you like that version and I like that version. And to be honest,
Everybody
it is-
likes that
it is
version.
Yeah, I like
similar
that version
to
too, yeah.
Tarkov. Because
Yeah.
when we come in with gear and we're not Timmy's, we like beeline to the specific places, either spawn rush or like sub boss rush or boss rush. And then when you're like down bad or whatever, you want a 0 to hero, you play the outside modules, you loot up, you do whatever. So just for a different POV from, I actually think HR is fantastic. I'm a pretty strict solo goblin enjoyer. And again, I think it's the best map. There's like a shitload to do. The loot is incredibly rewarding. I can consistently get troll pelts. You sell them for 4K. I have like a big ass kit now. I went in earlier naked, first run, rogue naked, killed troll, got troll pelt, left. Boom, I have 4K. Like I can buy like 4 kits. I have like pretty mid grade gear and then like pop off or do whatever. So maybe the other maps just need to be, they need those POIs or they need to be like a little bit more of like something. But I feel like right now Goblin, there's not that many monsters. Like if you skirt the outside of the modules, you can pretty much beeline from like troll to cyclops and only run into like 3 goblins and like a skeleton. So I do feel like in crypt and especially ice caves, there's so much shit in the way and the monsters have so much health that like I hate playing those maps solo. It's like a son of a bitch. I have to bring like 50 potions because if I get hit once by like an archer, I'm like slowed and then something else hits me. Like, I don't know. Compared to Goblin, where like, yeah, if I get hit by a Goblin, I'm like poisoned, but I just feel it off. And like they're pretty easy to dodge compared to like the Thanos or whatever you guys are talking about. So
Yep.
I like HR. I wish crypts and caves was more balanced for solos. I think Iron May said they were going to work on that, especially bossing. Like I hate going to crypt because I can only kill Ghost King on like most of the classes. So like typically I go down to Inferno, and if it's not GK, I'm just like, oh damn, like there goes like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So obviously the Frost Wyvern has dropped, and some people have killed it a bunch. The boss is cool as fuck, in my opinion. I think Ice Abyss in general is awesome. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Ice Abyss. But what do you guys think of a raid queue? Imagine if there was an HR only 5-man or like 6-man, let's call it 5-man raid queue. Where you queue up with 4 other homies and you get in there, and it is the HR we know today, so it's difficult, but you have a couple more teammates and you can take on like the Wyvern, for instance. And maybe it's not every map that's available. Maybe it's just for now Ice Caves and Abyss, and it's an HR raid. Would you guys?
I like that idea
You guys
as
be down?
long as it's limited, right? Like long as it's like
I was about
okay,
to say, yeah.
okay, it's the Saturday Sunday event from this time slot to this time slot. Raid queues enabled. Get your gear, get your friends, get ready, adventurers, and get in there and fight the dragon. But like you can't just have it
Yeah.
always, or it'll ruin the economy.
What if it
You
was
can
like
make it
twice
like
a
an
day?
item to craft.
Sure.
Yeah, make it 2. Make it like it's a twice a day entrance fee, and you have to craft or use 2 GKs each entrance. Like double down on it. Make it limited and make it actually cost an in-game item.
Yeah, so the way I was thinking about it was either someone or everyone in the raid party would have to bring some sort of token earned in the regular game. So, like, you have to kill a specific...
One skull key.
Yeah, or a key or something like that, or some sort of, like, shard, like some sort of boss item. And if everyone brings a boss item, that turns into a token that opens up the raid or something like that.
I just don't think it should require an item. That's like gatekeeping it up from majority of the player base.
Fair enough.
Then we have 4-man Wyvern problem all over again, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Or just
My
make it an
opinion.
item. So earlier, TheEndBoss and Ken were both talking about this. The core, and Jay, you did too, actually. The core of the gameplay loop should be that looting feels rewarding. There should be an incentive to loot normal mobs. And SoBad's saying, like, he just skips over them. Like, he doesn't have time for them. Do something like that to where the weekly event, bi-weekly event, whatever it is, can be accessed through a drop that's like a 10% drop rate off of a skeleton. So it incentivizes the people to play throughout the week, at least a
And
little
kill
bit, to
skeletons.
get and kill the mobs and actually loot them and feel rewarded for looting them, so that when they show up for the event on the weekend, they've got their ticket to the show.
True.
And make it show so that they're not sellable too, like no
Ooh.
marketplace selling.
I like if it is sellable because then players can just pick those up in normals, and I can just keep skipping the mobs and then buy it with my troll pelt
No.
money.
Nah, see, you gotta get your hands dirty with the rest
Nope.
of us too.
Yep.
Me personally, I don't think going in and having to like get fetching an item is the way. I think the once a day, twice a day sort of thing would be awesome. I think that's the path, personally.
I just want to make more of a risk to it.
Raid lockout, you know?
Well, I
And they're
wish
talking
it was
dailies
cool. That
and
was
raid
fun.
lockout.
You know?
It was fun. I did not mind that there was raid night, you know? Oh shit, it's Thursday. It's
cool.
fucking raid night. That was awesome, you know?
Yeah.
But
It's
if
cool
I
for like the first year. But anyway.
Dude, I did 5 days a week
They're like, oh,
raiding 3-4 hours a night. I was not like, oh, it's raid night. It's like, fuck me. We have to go wipe another 250 times to kill this. Oh, Jesus.
Casual
It was
guild.
horrible. Yeah. Casual my ass. Fucking world top 50. I'll fight you.
I like the
3 to
raid
4
lockout
hours.
thing. How about you can only
5 days a
loot it
week.
once, or if it's maybe it's available all day, but you can only loot it once. So then you can go.
You can
carry
help
for
your friends.
Oh,
you can
sure.
sell
Yeah.
carries.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can only
I
do it
like
once,
that.
but it's available. Yeah, I think you have the raid lockout.
That's
You
a
do
great
it,
idea.
Okay, I've done it. You're locked out
Yeah.
for the week or the day or the
Yeah.
3 whatever.
I don't like a
whatever
raid
time slot, yeah.
lockout.
That's a great.
I
I
don't
like
know.
that idea a lot. That's cool.
Don't like raid lockout?
Nah, I don't want to play a fucking MMO, dude. Don't make me do all
Make it a
that.
loot
It's 100%
lockout.
optional, you know?
A loot
I like a loot
lockout's better
lockout.
than a raid lockout because then you're not
Yeah.
tied to any people. If you've looted the chests of 1,000 hopes, then congratulations, that's your shit out of luck for the week. Go help your homies.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I
You
like that
can make
better.
it a chest, and you can only loot the chest once.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
but you
how
can
it
keep
works in WoW.
helping.
It's like, you don't
Yeah.
get locked. You don't get locked unless you kill the boss.
Yeah, and
you
then
know?
but then you're gonna have loot locked sweat lords like Jay just fucking doing boost runs, charging them 5,000 gold per
Yeah.
run.
Smart.
Absolutely.
I will
Yeah.
try that.
No.
You can only do it once a week.
20
I also-
bucks on player auctions. I'll carry you on the dragon. Don't you worry.
There you go.
All right.
I mean, also, if it's a chest that's available when the boss is defeated, then your little like naked rogues and your little rat druids can wait for like the actual group to finish, and then they can run up there, grab the shit, turn into a rat, and leave. Right? Like, are we talking
Yeah.
about? Is this a PVE thing or is it like a 5v5?
I think it's like
figured
at
it'd
least one or two
PvE.
teams, you know.
I'd say there's, and the way I kind of envision in my head, there'd be at least one or two other teams, and it's a big map,
Ooh.
and maybe like the time limit is, an hour or something. Like it's really long, and it's
I
like a
like
bigger
that.
map. It's maybe there's it's difficult in other ways. Maybe there's puzzles or something you have to complete. Jolly cooperation where, okay, you two have to stand on this pedestal, you two have to stand on that pedestal, we have the two of us have to stand over here, and then once we do that, this boss is going to come out and there's some semblance of a puzzle within the fight, and if we complete that, we get to the next chamber and the next chamber, and then whatever team is left standing gets to fight the raid boss at the end, something like that. I think that'd be
I
cool.
like that. Or you can cooperate with the other teams, or like
Sure.
what have you.
Or what
Because
if that's a
it's
part of it?
test,
Yeah. What if
yeah,
the
like-
other team on the other side of the map? What if they have to do something at the same time as you, or if the other team die? I don't know. Maybe that's getting a little too crazy, but yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be fun. Maybe not relying on another team. Probably a bad idea.
We're just replacing this with like Ice Abyss, right? Or like Abyss is gone and now it's this.
Abyss, sir.
Sorry, is Abyss changing? Like,
Abyss.
Abyss.
that shouldn't be a 4-man dragon though, right? Like everyone agrees that's like a bad system.
Yeah.
I was
Stupid.
just about to
Yeah.
actually ask
Okay.
about
Yeah.
that. Like, what do you
Unless
guys?
it's a 4-man queue, yeah, it shouldn't be a 4-man dragon.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought when
Yeah.
it came out, I was convinced that there was a secondary way to activate it, either by clearing the modules and it would like remove the beam. So it's like, okay, yeah, you don't need to bring 4 people, but you have an option. The fact that maybe there is, I don't think there is an option, but we're just going to assume there is no option. That does, it's cool. It's intuitive. Like we said earlier, they're trying new things. They're willing to take the data and see what this is not great data. I don't like it. I don't like having to snipe into people. Like the dynamic, like just isn't there. It's the same thing with like the
It just
3-layer
goes
cake.
It just goes against everything, you know.
Yeah, it's just too much to ask, and there's not really like any buffer system, and yeah.
It's an easy fix though. Like there's those special demons down there. I think there's only 2. The ones that like
Frost
catapult and
demons?
stuff. Yeah, like make it so if you kill one of those, one of the statues breaks. So after you
There's a
kill
lot of them.
both, you only need 2
There's
players.
Wendigos.
Or at least that
I like
100%
the idea,
drop
though.
rate on an item or something that like you can't extract with it, but it's like a little thing you burn on the statue or something.
Yeah, I like.
It's an
Oh,
easy
I like
fix for
that.
sure.
Like a
Right,
2-slot
yeah.
chisel or something you can buy on the auction house.
Yeah. Well, maybe not.
It
Maybe
drops
not
from the Frost
extract
Demon
with
or
it.
something.
I don't. Anyway,
It's a per
just
raid.
cooking, but
Yeah. So
Anything
what do
that's
you?
not a
like you-
4-man.
yeah.
Then just make it easier. Like
I,
it has, like,
I respect
20% less
what
health.
I respect what SDF and the team were thinking. Like, okay, maybe this will add some new element. Sounds good on paper. Not everything translates in reality.
Yeah.
Right.
But what do you
Good
guys
idea,
think
terrible
about?
execution.
I wouldn't say terrible. It's just a miss. It's just a miss.
It would be
That's pretty
cooler. It would be cooler if it was an option and not a requirement. Like if we
Mm-hmm.
happen to have 4 people, or you convince people, like, oh
You
hey,
get
let's go
extra
down
loot.
there and do it. Yeah,
Sure.
just it would be cool if that was not the only way to spawn the boss. Like anything else, like, oh yeah, we happen to have 4 people here, guys. You want to summon it? It'll be easier than clearing the modules and getting the crystal of Ass Blast. But the fact that it's a requirement, that just doesn't make me happy. I can't do it by myself. I have to get 3 other people, and yeah,
I think
a lot of people are never going to get to fight it.
I think they know.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about the Abyss itself, though? So Ice Wyvern aside, what do you guys think of the way it looks, the difficulty, the monsters?
Ooh.
Sure.
I want.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
monsters
I
live in
choose
there.
you.
Live
I
in
would
there.
say-
Be right back.
I would say I probably have the most time in the Abyss out of most of the community. Probably I love it down there. It's very quiet. Obviously, there's nobody that goes down because nobody knows how to deal with the mobs. The mobs are very well spaced, but it feels just like it should. It feels like an absolute hellish version of the original Ice Caves, which was just a complete shit fest to begin with. If you take 2 steps out of your spawn thinking that you're hot shit, you get cornered by 2 harpies and an imp and spanked into the back of the lobby again. So it's like that same methodical approach of how I had to take every inch, like, okay, I can only shimmy on this side of the wall to pull one of the skeletons, or else I'm going to pull the imp, the skeleton, and a whole gravy train of death. It's just, I like that you have to take every approach very slowly, but it's doable. I'm playing a cleric, and I've done it with a shield. I've done it without a shield. You can dodge everything that's down there. You can individually pull it with torches. You just have to take your time. And the loot Ooh, yeah. Once you get knowing where the loot spots are, you can just clean up down there. I've already got
Where's
enough.
the loot, bro?
Oh, dude, I showed you the clip. Did I show you the clip? I got on my royals, man. I've got like 8 or 9 royal gems that I picked up from down there.
Mm.
I'm ready when the
Norms
chest
or
comes out
HR?
next week. HR. I've also gotten some from Norms, but I get more from HR.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a ton. Hey, you want the secret? All right, everybody, gather in. All right, it's the southeast corner of the abyss has all the fixins. That's the good stuff. Southeast corner. Get your ass to that corner. There's pedestals. There's like 7 lions' heads all over the place. It's beautiful. It's Christmas.
Oh my god.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
you just got to get there and survive and kill the harpies. And then there's the dogs that everybody's terrified of. Yeah, the mob design is brutal. There's arguably there is a cheese spot. There's a couple of cheese spots, and they are like,
Yeah.
You know when you go to the Ghost King layout of Inferno, and you've got that one room with the wraith and the stairs that you can pull the lever that goes the up and down elevator and everything. It's the vault or whatever. And you're just like, there's the stair that you can just jump on and cheese the berserker, cheese the centaur, and you know they've changed like everything in the map. They've lowered torches to stop abuse, but they just leave that whole section is right there for cheesing. That's the same thing in Ice Abyss. There's a couple of spots where you're just kind of like, Iron Mace. Yeah, I know. I won't cheese here. But it feels intentional. Like it does. But otherwise, it's really smoothly designed. There's no nice place for you to cheese everything besides that one spot where they did definitely set it up for you. Everything is grueling. If you don't have that spot unlocked, the monsters are just going to claw you to bits. Like the Yeti does. The Yeti is, I think, a great example of a monster that you can get on a ledge, but because of his little uppercut swing, it tends to scoop you off high ground pretty effectively. And I think they're going in the right direction with the mob design down there. I really do like the Abyss. Sorry.
The Yeti, right? They definitely went on the Unreal Marketplace and got some gorilla.
They stole a
asset,
Wampa skin.
and they painted him white, right? That's what they
It's
did.
a fucking Wampa.
Yeah, okay. But
I like
Ice
the
Abyss,
Yeti though.
I like it too. I think that's really cool. It's really cool. Just very,
I like the Yeti.
it's a gorilla. and
I'm
it's
scared. Fair.
Pro tip,
When that thing
you
comes
can-
at me,
You can shut him down with a buckler, man. You can.
He's not
it's
so
a
hard.
joke.
Yeah.
He's actually a joke. You just put it up at his right paw, and he just constantly clips it, and you just bonk him.
Or you just
doesn't do
strafe
anything,
jump
just-
right and then keep going to right. You just
He's
just
pretty
rotate right.
fast if you
Yeah.
got the room for it. Yeah.
You have to have room. You have
you
to
just
back
ruined
him.
my
into-
ice gorilla, dude.
Yeah,
That's
you have
fucked
to
up.
move
Who took
him
that from me?
to a wider open spot, but he's not too bad once you get it down. One
Yeah,
thing
I
I
love it
really
down
like about Abyss is that it reminds me of old school World of Warcraft dungeons. You queue up with a few buddies, you go in, you have to be very careful about your pulls. You have to be careful about aggro. Me and my buddies will take turns hitting something so the mob is constantly changing aggro and it gets stuck running back and forth. You want to pull mobs to a certain spot. You have to think a little bit more. And I love that about Abyss.
It's like the one map where you can't just all three disperse and
Yes,
clear it.
100%.
You actually are
Yeah.
like, oh, unless you're playing Warlock.
Oh yeah,
Well,
of
then-
course.
yeah. I was clearing that shit.
Yeah, Warlock can
Yeah.
do whatever they want. Yeah,
But yeah, you have to be pretty like careful and calculated. I like it.
I love it. Yeah, I think it's fun.
great. And I hope that they like, make the difficulty pretty close on further maps and stuff.
Agreed.
Because it even beats like veteran players' ass.
So
Yeah.
I don't like
When was the last
difficulty
time
for
that's
this
happened?
for the sake of being difficult. I think Ice Abyss is sick because it's difficult, but all the mobs are super cool. It's not just
Yeah.
like Thanos swinging an axe. It's like there's an imp teleporting, putting ice bombs on the ground.
Yes.
There's a demon guy laying down blizzards on me. Like
The
it's really cool
the
mechanic.
wall statues.
Yeah,
that
The wall-
have-
those
yeah.
things fucked me up the
Frost
first. I had no idea how to
Sentinels.
kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I went down the 4 times before I realized you could hit those things. I was like, how do I beat this?
yeah.
It's
they're
just killing me.
Yeah, those things are
Yeah.
annoying as fuck. Does anyone else have any thoughts on Abyss? I think everyone thinks it's pretty much a W, right? Like for the most part.
Yeah.
Just fix the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thematic. It looks
Uh,
beautiful. Makes me feel like I'm in Ice Crown Citadel. I'm a
know-
WoW nerd.
I'm not really a fan of the room looks. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's all a little the same.
But you don't
You
like
know
the
what I
way
mean?
Abyss looks?
Too uniform, like not enough
Yeah,
color
it's
variation.
too It's all like it might as well just be all gray. You know what I mean? To me,
I
Crypts
love
is
the
a
way Abyss
dungeon.
looks. Oh man.
Well,
Wow.
the thing
Yeah.
about Crypts is the same way, but I feel like the rooms look so good. You know what I mean? Like there's enough like variance to the rooms and stuff. But maybe I'm just a little bit of a hater.
I just love the way the sky and like the very high up ceiling looks in the abyss. It just it gives
That
this
does look
like
good.
ominous,
Ice
dark,
grinder.
fucking scary feeling. I just think it's so cool.
But to
And,
be
like,
fair,
the
on
jump
my
puzzle.
I feel
boss.
like it's also the the first iteration. So
The fuck was
Thanks.
that?
Thanks, Ken.
That wasn't me, bro.
That was me. I have a
yeah.
fart
Oh,
soundboard,
fuck me.
and my phone. I moved my mouse, and it pushed my phone onto the fart soundboard.
all right.
Now
I also have a slap soundboard. Yeah.
we were picking
You
up
got the
your
two
other
essentials.
mic. Yeah, picking
I
up
have a worse one. I have one worse one.
I love
Got a lot of fart soundboards, but
What
point
are
being,
what are you
is
doing
my
in your
phone
spare
fell-
time? You fucking psycho. What are you doing when no one's watching? What are you doing?
He's a DJ, actually.
I play on the roleplay server, and I cannot tell you the joy it brings me to pretend I'm farting via the internet on people. It's fantastic.
I love you,
But
Donnie.
yeah, sorry guys, that was.
I love you, Donnie. So, what is the game doing right? What feels the best in Dark and Darker right now? Let's before we go into Q&A, because we've been going for over an hour now. What is what's the best part about Dad right now? Let's start with you, Scott. Puffing that chronic.
Goblin Caves. Honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this. Goblin Caves just feels great, and without getting too much into repeating what everybody's already said, like just the fact that it has so much going on in that map, the amount of POIs makes that map feel great. I love the variety of the extracts. So you've got the rope, you've got the 4-man in the middle, you've got the old statics. What am I missing? Did they add another?
I love the cave collapse.
Yes.
The cave collapse itself is cool. Yeah, everything they did with God, I'm just shocked that 6 months ago, 3 months ago, even. Gosh, it hasn't even been that long. 1 month ago, I would have told you that Goblin Caves would be my least favorite of the 3 maps to queue into, and now it's like tied for first, man. I mean, Crypts is always home, and you have the option to go down and boss, but man, Goblin Caves feels really, really good right now. So yeah, I don't think I have anything groundbreaking. I'm just gonna say that Druid, normals plus. I think the way normals are broken out right now is perfect. 25 and under is great. 25 up is good. I mean, you could maybe make an argument that you could keep legendaries out of there, because I have seen some people going in there just Timmy stomping, but more often than not, the people that are wearing legendaries are freaking RMTers, and they're terrible. So you're just picking off legendaries from these absolutely terrible players. And I don't know how much of an issue it actually is. So normals plus feels great.
Yeah, it's funny that you're a big fan of GC now, because I used to hate that map. I used to be an Ice Caves guy. It was Ice Caves, Crypts, GC for me, and now it's GC, Crypts, Ice Caves. But then
We didn't want you anyways.
but
I'm the same way.
But my favorite thing in the game, my favorite environment is the Abyss. But I don't like playing in the Ice Caves to get down to the Abyss. But when I'm down in the Abyss, I'm having the most fun, because A, it's novel, and then B, it's difficult, and you have to actually think about engagements. I don't know. It's a bit of a conundrum. The second time I've said that word tonight. But I hear you. Queuing up trios and GC, and I'm going in there purely for either double boss kills and hitting the middle room, or just running through the caves and slaughtering everyone that I can with my team. It's so fun. It's so satisfying. I love. Yeah, it's got ore. Oh yeah, go into like the center room with the 4 elevators. Like, I love playing in there. It's so fucking fun. I love it.
Other reasons
that
Ice
should be an
Cave
arena map.
down.
Just quad elevator.
It's probably big enough, honestly.
Make 2 of the elevators that are like catty corner from each other ladders, and then you have like flank strats. You've got like the pillars to hide behind. You can like play around. If you jump on top of the elevators, you can climb up onto the scaffolding.
Yeah.
Then you have like weird height. Like, I don't know. That'd be a really, really good arena map.
TheEndBoss, what's the best thing in the game right now? What's doing it for you? Get your rocks off, sir.
I think the mob design in the Ice Abyss, because we got a lot of new monsters in there. Like, we got the Halberdier, which is a fun word to say. We got the Felling Axe Skeleton Man. We've got the little stringy spiders. You've got the frost demons. You got the imps. You have reskinned demon bats, aka harpies. But like everything else wise, I think they did a great job. And like we were saying, it feels more like a dungeon when you go down there. I think they could explore more on that, making things into that kind of like a feel. How you've got like pulls that are necessarily more easy to pull if you have a ranged guy pulling them back. I don't know. I just feel like the Ice Abyss itself showcases a lot of what they can do right. And if they keep like expanding on it, then we're all in for a really good experience, especially with, like I said, the monster design. That's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys know me. I'm a fan of the Abyss. So bad.
I think it's doing a bunch of stuff right. Primarily the allowance of normals players to bring all their gear in and to buy stuff off the auction house. Like the normal to legendary system is like, in my opinion, one like the best evolution of free to play like we've almost ever seen, because they can play like 90% of the game for free, but they still want to get to legendaries. Like that is a good upgrade system. They're not that locked out of very many things. They can do all the quests, et cetera, et cetera. And then the gear disparity is in probably one of the best spots it's ever been in. I'm rarely like, oh, fuck, I was gear checked. Like, look at that, how crazy it is. Mostly if you're in blues, I feel like you can kill anybody. Like if you're in statted blues, you're in like a really good spot. And then item price wise, I think we're in a really, really good spot. I said this 2 wipes ago, but when you have items that players can get in normals, like a GK or a troll pelt or an SK, and sell it for like a lifetime supply of gear, that's a really good system, because all those things are rare drops and they're all worth selling, and then you just have a ton of money. So that like it always feels good to have some sort of item when you get it where you're like, yes, damn, like I can't wait. Like I was with TheEndBoss and we got a skull key off like a normal ghost key.
No, we didn't.
And so now we each get 15K and we were in like shit gear. Like that feels good.
One
Never
thing
happened.
one thing I forgot to mention is the evolution of buff ball in the meta. Now that Druid's in the game, I feel like it's not the same exact buff ball meta every time. There's actual there's multiple avenues to go down now with the introduction of Druid and how the game shifted. I love that. It makes me so happy.
Also, Druid is like the anti-buff ball, right?
Yeah.
Like Bard,
great.
Wizard, buffs Barbarian, Barbarian runs in, Druid walls
Thorn
off
wall.
the rest of the team.
Yep.
And then you can isolate the Barbarian. It's like actually really
it's so
healthy
good
for the game. Yeah, it's
Yep.
great.
Everything in the changes to the health and the damage values, and also that kind of pushed buff ball out a little thing. I think the speed of just like a berserker rush immediately eliminating somebody is falling off the wayside, except if you're playing ranger. But for everybody else, it's falling off.
Also, Iron Mace's response time. Like in the past, something would have been broken for a while. Like Locust Worm just deleted people for like ages, and then Bards for a long time. I can't remember what song it was, Din or whatever. That was just like erasing
It
teams.
took so long. So
And
long.
then-
Din was a long time.
When
Locust Storm
Druid
was like
came
3
out-
days.
Yeah, so
Locust Swarm was
we
pretty
went for
quick.
like a week or two, and then we went like 3 days Locust Swarm. Druid was insane at launch. Solos, like you just root them and they're just fucked. Like it was so long, and so like it took like 1 day, and not only did they nerf that, they were just like, oh, you had to like put spectacles on and read the paragraph of Druid nerfs. And while reading that, I was like, damn. But I was also like, okay, like good job, Iron Mace. Like this was clearly broken. It
We were
got fixed
doing-
really fast.
Yeah, we were playing with Grayson. We were doing the Wyvern queues and Vincent and everybody. And then like as he was getting off, he's like, "All right, guys, that was my last match." But I remember he was talking and he's like, "Druid's heals are really strong." An hour later, patch notes come out with all those nerfs. I was like, "You think he was trying to tell us something? I don't know." It's like they didn't decide that in a fucking hour. He knew.
Grayson would never
knew.
ever try to tell the player base something in any way. He's never cryptic. He doesn't use Spotify or anything like that. No, that's not his MO. Mr. Ken, what is the best thing in the game right now? What is giving you your jollies?
So I think like the best change they made from last season to this season, to tag on what SoBad was saying, is probably the gear descaling. I think crunching down the stats on gear has made PvP fights go longer and just more satisfying.
Yep.
It's not perfect. There's like some issues with like plate gear being too fast, being too tanky for how fast you are, but that's minuscule issues that they're gonna fix hopefully. But overall, I like that somebody in greens or blues could fight somebody wearing legendaries and just have a chance, just not get stat checked. That's a good place for the game to be. I think the trio's like PvP meta is probably in the best spot it's been. There's obviously some issues. Buff ball is still very strong. It's still very impressive, but like at least when I'm against a buff ball, I feel like I could do something.
Mhm.
It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard, but I could eventually kill them if I play well.
Yep.
Whereas in previous seasons, they could just make 7 mistakes and still kill me, and that felt like shit.
Mm.
I'm having a great time as long as my lobbies are filling. You know, my problem is that I play it like from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. So like I play HR. So at like 4 a.m. the lobbies die, and that sucks ass. But that's like they're working on matchmaking, so that'll be addressed in the future. But overall, as long as I'm playing and there's people, I am just having a blast. I agree with actually Arcane that Goblin Caves might just be my favorite map now.
Hmm.
I hated Goblin Caves for so long because I wasn't a solo player, but like trio Goblin Caves is sick. Like you spawn in with your team, you're like, oh, we got this spawn, we're gonna go hit this boss. Maybe the other team hit the other boss, and then you kill Cyclops, and then you check the door. The door is open.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, the door is open, and then you have a fight over the gold in that small arena room. It's just a great time. So I've just been having a lot of fun, just getting in there, fighting, dying a lot, but just enjoying every second of it.
Hell yeah. Agreed. Mr. Griffia.
Now, why I gotta go after the two guys talk about? I like the gear. I complained for a long time about the gear diff. But yeah, it feels really good. I would say this is the best it's ever been meta wise, but I fucking despise double cleric meta. I despise the tank meta.
Dude,
I'm not gonna lie.
that's not a dude. That's a
speak
gear issue.
no more on
That's
it.
a
Let's
gear
go.
issue, man. That's a gear
Let's
issue.
not talk about it.
They're
Clerics
just
are
too
fine.
tanky.
Clerics
It
are
is
fine.
the
Shut up.
most boring meta to me running into that shit. Outside of it, it's amazing. But that double cleric bullshit, please, nerf.
Dude, what if we play triple
Please.
cleric?
Let's
You
go
know
right
what's
now.
you know what's really
Yeah, it's
broken
disgusting.
is 2 barbs with bard running bosses. It's ridiculous. Shriek. Like if I go in with like a fully kitted out barbarian, and mind you, it's norms, so take that with a grain of salt. But if I go in with
Fully kitted.
yeah, fully kitted in norms, right? You go in with like a legendary
Shameless.
axe, whatever. You go in with a legendary axe, and the idea is get down to hell and boss and crypts, right? Just for practice or whatever, in case you want to do HR bossing later. My barb friend and bard friend went down and fought the warlord, and I had a legendary axe, and I was hitting for 162 on the dummy, and then when he would shriek, the dummy was getting hit for 272. And when we fought the warlord with 2 barbarians using 2-hand weapons, and with the bard shrieking the warlord, we were able to DPS him down in like you can actually watch. It was with Skinny Pete and K-Balls, actually. You can watch Skinny Pete's newest video, and it just shows the fight. We were shocked at how fast it actually died. Like, it didn't even get close to the second phase. It was like 6, 7, 8 hits, and that fucker was dead. Because we did thousands of damage in just a few hits. Is Shriek too strong? I don't know. Like, Shriek seems too good.
Well,
Shriek
to me.
has always
already-
been too strong.
But
Shriek is
it's like
always-
worse
yeah.
than ever, I feel like. Or maybe I just haven't been paying attention because I haven't been playing with bards.
I don't think it's been changed.
Yeah, it's
Well, you
not.
gotta think,
Maybe I
right?
just haven't played with a bard in a while. Yeah.
Gear and damage has been like shrunk, so by comparison, now it's just doing more than it was in the past.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say I like the bossing. I like the uniques being much more of a higher percentage. I think it's good for the game. I think it lets a lot of them. I'd rather the market be flooded with them by like mid to late wipe than just have them be super gate kept.
Yeah.
Yeah, gear, bossing, it's all pretty good right now.
Hmm.
My favorites.
Okay.
And the PvP is good.
I like the named weapons too. Like you can't most people can't get artifacts, but you can get like a void blade or like a vision crystal. Like there's probably more than that,
Mm.
like spear of rot. Like those
I
are
want more stuff like that.
pretty available.
Yeah. More craftables like that would be good for other stuff, kind of what I was talking about with like driving for POIs. There could be better crafting weapons or better crafting materials or even upgradable crafting materials, like take 10 bone, turn it into a powder and turn it into a fucking demon's blood or some shit. I don't know. Just one thing leading into another quality wise.
Yeah, that's actually smart. Like 10 grave essences can become like a dark matter or whatever, or like a void matter.
Sure.
Yeah, ghostly essence.
But that's another like huge. Sorry, Donnie has to go too. But the last thing I'll
No,
say is
you're
just
fine.
the craftables are insane right now. Like everything is so fucking good. Like foul boots are insane. Like cloak of darkness with the move speed, copperlight is incredible, cobalt is great. I feel like all of those have found their niche. Like the movement speed or the armor pen or like movement speed, like whatever it is, they're all really good.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
they're obtainable.
Yeah. Donicus.
Yeah, I harp on this every week, but performance feels the best. It sucked such big fat dick to literally stutter every minute. That was the worst. So I feel like I hardly ever get it now. It's great. And I'm I used to when the patch first came out, I was a fucking no circle Andy hating motherfucker because I didn't know about the static exits. But now that I'm like cued into that whole system, I dig the static exits. Like to grab the little rope and just be like, "Wee." It's a good time.
Yeah, the rope's pretty
time.
cool.
Yeah, I love the no circle, but I think it's the best change ever. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love the circle, but like being forced into PvP 100% of the games, like looking back, terrible design.
Mm-hmm.
Just in comparison.
I was talking about with Jay the other day. Jay and we had like a crazy, like 8-minute long fight in library on Crips, and we were thinking about it. We were like, if this was like during circle, this fight would have just been ruined by the circle. But since there was no circle, we just had an 8-minute long slobber knocker in the corner of the map, and it was awesome. So
Yeah.
What did you just say?
A
Slobber knocker. Let me ask real quick because I'm seeing chat saying like their performance is still ass. Are y'all running? Do y'all feel like the game's running better than like previous patch, or how do y'all feel about it?
A little bit better.
Perfect for me.
Goblin Cave's
Today
lag.
is the worst. Goblin Cave today was like the worst I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
I didn't have.
Outside of stuttering, like the stuttering thing, that was weeks long and fucking awful. That was like PowerPoint. But this is just like I feel like there's so many players now. The servers probably just need like a little upgrade or something.
Yeah, maybe.
He's stuttering a bit.
I don't really have any issues.
I'll say, as a West Coast player who's always played East, I think the lag is terrible. That's the one thing I will like bash on. Why is it so bad all of a sudden? Like Ranger is unplayable basically. There's like a fucking quarter-second delay on each arrow. And
I haven't
then
played Ranger.
like Druid, for example, like the shape shifting is terrible. Ever since they made it so you couldn't jump and shapeshift, it's been awful ever since.
Well, they just brought that back.
Yeah, but now it's still awful.
Really?
Like they brought it back, but whatever change happened just killed it for me, anyways. It's the only performance
I'm sorry to hear that.
I run into.
Gaming runs great for me, so
Yeah, it runs great. Yeah.
It's only because like the for me the TTK is too low, or not too low. The TTK is fine, but
Yeah,
like
which one is it?
because of the stuttering in Goblin Caves, it's tough to deal with when like the smallest like latency or stutter will kill you on Troll or Cyclops or like a player fight.
Sure.
Like only in that sense.
I love rubber banding back into a trap 3 times. That's my favorite. That's the best. Okay, we've been going for almost an hour and a half already. Time flew by. Let's switch it up and roll into Q&A. Chat, and if you guys are streaming, you guys have your chats open. Anyone can throw a question in. I don't give a fuck if you guys don't give a fuck.
So bad. I see you broke out the Bud Light. Are you a Bud Light guy? Is that your poison?
So I go to the store and once in a while I buy an alcoholic beverage, and this one was on sale for the cheapest, $20 for a 30-pack. So I don't have a brand.
Holy shit!
That is
As a man,
that's the answer I knew I was gonna get. Never disappointed.
Though. I will
as
say,
a man.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Bud Light sponsored the 2017 TwitchCon, and it was lit.
Okay.
They had like a bar in the middle of TwitchCon. You got 2 free beers with entry. People were like giving each other beers. You could literally stand there and drink while watching like the esports take place.
Yeah, I
like,
remember that.
Yeah, but it was Bud Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you went to the last TwitchCon. Was there a alcohol sponsors there? Was it awesome? Was there a bar?
Nope.
Bud Light's better than nothing. All right.
There was a
I would agree with that. What I was going to say,
Bud Light, it's better than nothing.
Not bad. But as a man who also will drink whatever piss beer is available, I respect that because it's all piss. If you're drinking like a light, like just beer in a can for fucking $10 for a 6-pack, It's all piss. Just drink it.
Alcoholic water.
Does the next TwitchCon need a cannabis bar? Just like purple-haired weed.
Oh,
Everybody gets
Yeah.
2 free mini
awesome,
joints.
actually.
I'm down for gummies. Like I don't want to be walking in fucking
Yeah.
smoke clouds.
Like a 5 milligram gummy. Everybody gets.
Yeah. Give everybody some
Nah,
gummies.
nobody's
idea.
good with gummies. Everybody gets the wrong dosage in gummies.
I
Like
know.
weed smoking is fine, but like gummies, everybody's like, "Oh, I feel nothing. I'm gonna have another, and I'm dead."
There'd be 30.
I'm gonna compromise.
There'd be 30
How about
ambulance
weed vape
crews
pens?
on standby outside the convention center. Just every ambulance in town is ready to go to pick up freaked out people.
Sir, you've eaten 5 milligrams. You're gonna be fine.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good
Are
question.
you sure
for
I'm not
chat.
high right now?
All right, let's
Do you
actually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
Yeah,
please.
I got the Q&A question, round 1.
Sure.
Do you think the new social area coming will increase randoms teaming, and then or will it like push people to find more friends? Will it be like a net positive or negative?
Positive, I think.
Positive.
Oh,
I don't think it's gonna hurt.
Well, like I
I
mean,
don't think it's gonna help that much.
yeah. What Terry has basically said is the gathering hall right now is like this old school, chat room that no one uses. So imagine just the gathering hall is now just a tavern where you can like talk to people and ask. You can
Training
hit
dummies.
the training dummy and inspect people. And hey, do you want to go try to kill the troll or what? I think that's great. I think social spaces are going to be a good thing for the game. I think it's
an
going to help
opportunity
with
for
retention.
connection.
Yeah, I think it's going to help with retention for sure.
Plus, as we go toward guilds, you can then have a guild hall that you and all your guildmates can just go into and like chat. And then if we're gonna have like a 5-player raid thing, you go in there.
We can all flex our bis.
You get the raid lead, and he's got to look at your gear. He's got to
Yeah.
inspect.
Like,
Ready
bro,
to
you,
It's like,
Yeah,
all
do
right,
score
you have
check
you,
it,
you,
bro.
you don't have world buffs? Where are your consumes?
you don't have
at?
11
Like,
true.
Bro.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
If they add
no
guilds,
trolls blood?
there is gonna be a fucking like weekly raid lockout. It's gonna happen. Like
It's
people are gonna
gotta.
beg for
Oh,
it.
of course.
It's a good
of
idea
course.
though. 'cause
Yeah.
No other
Yeah.
extraction game has that. So it's
They need to
Iron Man,
open
we
up
will
the
do it.
API so we can get dad logs.
Gear
running in the
score.
background.
Need my
Hear me
gear
out,
score.
boys.
DPS
parsing.
logs. Yeah.
Like you just said, no other extraction game has that.
Mhm.
But is like a raid with your guild still gonna be an extraction game? Like my guild of 8 people in our guild run goes against another guild of their 8 people in the fucking dragon's cave, and you got to come out
Fuck yeah,
on
it
top.
is. You kill them and you take the loot out via extraction. Yoink.
And the other squad didn't
That's
extract, so
true.
they're dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe you
You're
can make
wild.
it like a ridiculously a really timed battle, like for example, how the ice cave freezes. You could have like a lava map and the lava keeps rising, and everybody's fighting over the loot, and you can delay, so you're like, you know what, fuck you, you're not going to get the loot, I'm just going to delay as long as I can till the lava rises and just keep kiting and being a dick, and it could be a lot of fun
Oh, that
plays.
sounds
I love
awful.
this. I love this.
It sounds
you know
awful when I'm
every
in.
every like the team that died and there's like the one rogue left, he's just gonna be harassing.
Oh yeah, there's a
till they all
druid
die.
just running around the edge of the map. Like imagine like a 20-second long channel you have to activate in order to open the chest, and the druid just pops up and dream fires you, or fucking runs up as a rat and claws your ankles and interrupts you and bears you off of it. The lava's getting up to your ankles. You're like, come on, guys, I need to loot this. It could be some fun shit.
I want a
I
hot
should
air
never be a game
balloon
designer.
static escape from your lava map. I want to have
Isn't
to
that
load up my
kinda-
homies.
Doesn't the frost wyvern like float you away
Yeah.
or something?
True.
That's really
Nice.
cool. That's really cool. by the way.
Current.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I don't think it
that.
works though, right? It doesn't actually
they
extract
fixed
you.
It does, yeah.
Oh,
They
it does?
fixed it,
Okay.
yeah.
Should we?
Yeah, so it's
should
there. We got
beg
it, we got
Iron
it.
Mace? Should we beg Iron Mace about the traps? Ken.
What are you talking about?
I was trying to
Laser
stay away from
traps?
it, dude. I was trying to stay away
All
from
right,
it.
never mind. Nothing.
What?
Don't worry about it. Spike
Dude,
traps.
I
Dude,
hate
Spike
traps.
Guardian.
Dude, I hate traps.
Spike Guardian, bro.
What's the Spike Guardian thing?
There are
Wouldn't you like
places
to know?
on the map where when I get hit by like a wall spike in my head, that it's just like randomly there. Like in the spider room with the tar on the right side, there's just a spike trap where like I don't know, I just lost like 25% of my health. I'm like, why is this here? Like it doesn't show it on the mini map. I just lose like
I
what's
know
its
the one you're
purpose?
talking about, and I fucking
Why
always
is
get hit
that
by
there,
it.
dude?
I
It
love them.
always
I'm
hits
like,
me.
okay, I guess
Wait, the
I
one-
guess
the one
that's
by
two potions
Cyclops?
at
Yeah,
advantage. That's fine.
It hits me
Yeah,
every
I watched
time, dude.
Ken, I remember we hit that. And we're like, how many times are we gonna hit this trap today? I don't know. And then we could leave, and we both hit it on the way out. It's just so fucking embarrassing.
There's zero object permanence in my
I
head.
I
No
love
idea.
playing with people like Ken, where I know they got like thousands and thousands of hours, and I walk past a hidden wall spike, And I turn around, I'm like, I know his ass is gonna hit it. And what do you know?
Yeah.
Well,
Fucking
I'm playing
hits it.
Warlock, I just don't give a shit. When I'm playing Wizard, I'm a little
Yeah.
more diligent because it matters.
When new players are coming by and everyone's like, yeah, play Warlock, it's easy. I'm like, you're going to hit a lot of bad habits on Warlock. Don't
It's
learn
true.
on Warlock. All you do is go, oh, I can just fucking, everything can hit me. It's the same reason I tell them not to touch Ranger. That is not a new player friendly class. You will learn nothing. You're just going to sit there and plink arrows. You'll learn how to be a cheesy dick, which is
Playing Ranger.
true. Yeah, playing Ranger. You've learned how to play Ranger, which is a different game than everybody else plays.
God, dude, I
This
fought a
guy's got an
Ranger the other
interesting
day.
one.
Oh, good,
Oh,
good.
sorry, good.
No,
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 you go
no,
ahead.
this is stupid.
All right.
You go ahead, Jay.
All right.
You
Oh,
go.
fine, I will.
Oh my God.
You
Um,
hang up. Wow.
This is a little interesting. What do you think about like the AP you get being locked in if you die?
Yes.
So like
please, dude.
obviously you lose like the treasure AP, but you kill 100 skeletons and the boss, and if you die, you at least get the AP.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think
Eh.
that's a lot more friendly, but I'm
Yep.
curious.
It's an extraction game, though. I mean, like if they take away the treasure bonus and rework the whole system, then sure that works. But like you're supposed to get out, and they are opening up opportunities for people to get out, like all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Like I still can't believe that actual Inferno has 12 portals in it.
Mhm.
Like that's a lot of portals.
A lot.
Yeah, I
That's good.
recommended that at like the beginning of the season, but now with the AP changes, I feel like no. Like,
What
it's,
AP
it's
changes,
so
bro? It's the
easy.
same
Yeah.
shit.
The rework, like the bringing back the fact that it's now easy to get AP. I like when it was tough
Sure.
as hell to get AP. Like, sure, you die, you don't get the treasure, but like if I go die on Warlord, it would be nice to get like my skeleton kills and like my sub boss kills or
Yeah,
whatever.
but if you went to do
But
that, that would
now-
be dumb.
But now it doesn't matter because now you can get like 2,000. So like now, no, if you die, I feel like you should get nothing. Like it's so easy to get out, and there's so many points like all over the place. Like everybody can get demigod this
True.
season.
Hmm.
This is probably the easiest season, right? Like now it's gear and it's AP, and there's a zillion extracts.
So I might have a hot take on this with like leaderboards and AP and stuff. I've
for it.
always hated with the new AP system of just going backwards if you die. I always like the old leaderboards because even if I had a bad day where I died 10 times in a row, sure, people surpassed me. They got past me. They had a good day, but I was still just there. I never like went backwards. I never. And then all of a sudden, I never had felt like I had to play with like I could just play with anybody because if we died, it wouldn't negatively affect me. But like right now with the
Right.
AP system, if you're actually are grinding AP, you have to like play seriously with two other people who are playing seriously with the goal to grind AP, and you just like can't play for fun at that point because if you die, you go backwards
Yeah.
a lot.
Right.
That always feels bad. And like I understand it's a high risk game. If you die, you should go backwards, but you're going backwards in sense of monetize like gear. You're losing gear.
lost
You're
your
losing
time.
time.
Yeah, you're losing
money.
gear and time. You're losing
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
You're
already.
losing a
right?
lot.
So that's
yeah.
So,
that's why I don't think that AP thing's bad. Like this guy in chat, he was like, so you lose nothing? It's like, what do you mean, bro? You just lost 20 minutes and all the loot that took you countless minutes to acquire prior. It's like you're
Like,
already
well-
getting fucked.
Yeah, and
When
you're
me
still
and Jay-
losing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you're still losing AP points. You're just mitigating that loss a little
True.
bit, right? Because
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
don't escape,
Yeah.
you're not gonna make it out with what you need. Especially if you're
Yeah.
going for demigod,
Mhm.
you're not gonna make it
Instead
out
of
with what you
minus
need.
800, you might get a minus 300. Makes you at least feel
Right.
fucking better.
Right.
True,
Right.
true.
Right.
I
It's
just-
an extraction multiplier, right? Like there's an incentive to
Yeah.
extract.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Other than
I'm
just
fine
the
with
Well,
gear.
that.
the extraction
True.
multiplier is all the shit on in your bags and all the, you know what I mean? So-
Yeah, dying in an
Yeah.
HR run and knowing that now you have to get out 2 more runs to get back to where you were, or like a little bit past that, and you're
Yeah.
like, fuck. Like, yeah, it is annoying. It does suck.
Yeah.
So,
And
oh, sorry, please.
And honestly, like, at the end of the day, does this game need a leaderboard, right?
No.
To me, it's kind of like a faux battle pass. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like a free, fake battle pass where you can get cosmetics, and it's not like the
Yeah.
rank means anything to begin with. And
The AP
That's
means
why I-
nothing. All leaderboards are great because, like, sure, it was a leaderboard, but really, it was just public stat tracking. That's all it was.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
you know, it was just fun. It wasn't like super sweaty mid maxing. Just playing the game. And like, oh, I'm here on the board. Oh, I'm here on the board. Oh, I'm here on this board. I killed a lot of Ghost King this season. I'm the number like 10.
Mhm.
That's sick. It was
Yeah, I
just
think
so
that's the
cool.
biggest thing to maybe rethink the whole AP rank system and all that. Really not like you said, it's not like it doesn't mean skill. It just means you played in like a certain way. Like you just kind of avoided people and got treasure.
Mhm.
So I think, in my opinion, it'd be better, and I think everybody would appreciate the rewards and whatnot a lot more if it was actually like, oh shit, this guy's got on the fucking star cape that looks like somebody jizzed on it. Like that's actually cool.
The paint spackle.
My furry potion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I love the fire and the torch though. Shit's cool.
It does look good.
I like the skull torch that's for sale. That shit looks badass. That's
The horn is awesome, man. The horn
Horn's
is
cool.
so
Oh, yeah.
good.
Horn's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude, Jay used that horn to get us a cinder last night. It was sick, actually.
Oh, yes, I did.
Cinderbait?
He
What
blew
happened?
the horn right.
I
He
was
blew the cinder
stoking the
right
fire
into
on the warlord's body, bro. Boom, there it was.
So Silent Wisco asks just GVG fights ? Which leads me to Arena. Arena is something like no one's really talking about. People kind of forget about it, that it's coming. We'll see if it's good or not. But what if there was, eventually there's going to be a guild hall and like guild stuff in the game. What if there was like a guild versus guild queue within the arena? How many guild mates should be able to go up against the other guild? Should it be like 10v10? Should it be like one of the craziest PvP modes in the game? Like, what do you guys think a guild versus guild system would look like? Is it even worth having in the game? I think so. But what do you guys think?
I would love it. That's
Fuck
awesome.
yeah. That sounds so sick. 10 versus 10, or like Donnie said, 8v8. Like just the comps and the sheer amount of projectiles of like fireballs and like druid shit and like pets. It would be so awesome. And then it just
The
has to
guild
be
should be able to choose-
limited.
Like choose like the scale. Like, all right, hey, like the Knights of 10. I challenge the Griffin dorks to 12v12. Or whatever, and they're like, nah, well, we don't have 12 on right now. We could do a 10v10. I'm like, all right, we can do 10v10. Like, it should be, the guild should decide.
If we can like 8v8, 10v10 or whatever, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna find a group that's gonna run all druids with me, and we're just gonna be the most obnoxious treants running around, thorn walls. Everyone's getting fucking stun locked by the the thorns.
Imagine some of those comps. Oh, imagine
Could be
10
crazy.
barbs. Just
barbs
10
would go crazy.
barbarians.
I'll call the arena meta now. Caster charges are falling off in that shit, dude. There's no way. Like, imagine you got 4 fireballs, bro. 10 seconds into the match, you're out of spells. Then what?
But yeah, chain
Not
lightning go
good.
brazy though.
Yeah, they're all
Wait a
dead.
minute.
Yeah,
chain will be.
somebody just
chain will
said
be
10
nuts.
chain lightnings.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
chain
it will
chain
be
be-
sick.
No,
Crazy.
actually, chain is sick. Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna be like an open arena, right? Like it's not gonna be like a gladiator arena. There's probably gonna be some
But it
obstacles.
could be.
Could be.
Could be objective based. It could be a lot of different.
The
I don't
fighters
know,
are setting up
man.
the visas. Like you got
Just the Coliseum
Wow.
circle would be sick.
WoW Arena isn't exactly open, but there's still 5-hour-long matches where the final 2 people are running around the same pillar for 5 hours straight.
Oh yeah, that shit's whack.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah,
You'll
that
be
shit
surprised.
sucks.
When my wizard's out of spells, you don't think I'm hugging that pillar? I'm going as long as I can, bro. Until you want to alt F4.
Shit.
I do the same thing.
My AP. Mine.
I just remembered something. Clarity pots. So people were a little nervous about clarity potions coming back in the game, but apparently it's just to speed up your spell recovery when you're sitting after you drink it. What do you guys think about that?
It's a good change.
I think it's
Perfect.
Yeah.
Old clarity pots were toxic and awful.
Yeah.
And I abused the shit out of them, and it was OP.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yep.
this is way healthier. Way healthier.
Fights were
That being said,
decided on
they're
who
way too
decided to
expensive.
drink them.
They're way
Yeah.
too expensive for what they do. Like,
Costs
they
a
should just be on the
lot.
vendor. They should just be on the vendor.
Yeah.
And bossing was
Yeah.
just made trivial because they were just fucking like clerics are just chugging. I'm doing holy light like over and over. And
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's
I
too
do
many
agree that maybe they
ingredients.
should be in the vendor. Sorry.
No, you're good.
A gray
No,
you could buy from the vendor.
Yeah,
Or like a squire gray.
maybe you buy them with one of the ingredients, make it optional. You could use a life leaf or a phantom flower or a ward weed. Like just like the craftable cost right now is through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
It's
rich,
just a
Yeah.
caster
rich,
tax.
it's a rich player thing. Yeah.
I think
That's a
IM
MVP
just
thing.
remembers how crazy OP they were, and they're tiptoeing back into allowing the clarity pot back into the game, and they haven't figured out that balance with it yet. I think that's
No,
what
I
it is.
think-
So on
I think it's very
clarities-
good.
Yeah.
But
I also
here's
like
plus
that
3
we're-
all.
We're adding more
But-
things for players to do to generate an economy outside of PvP. They
Yes.
can gather herbs, eventually they can fish, and they can mine, and all of those things are very rewarding right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will say they only need to do one change to clarities, and this might be kind of bad, but when you drink it, it just cues the effect for when you sit. You know what I mean? So you could technically
Oh.
pre-pop a clarity and then in a fight, go pop a squat real quick. I feel like that would be a good change, personally.
I kind of like that actually.
Yeah.
And then
Because,
if you
drink
stand up
you
though,
have
it goes
to
away.
instantly sit. You already lose like a quarter of the effect by the time that you sit down. But yeah, like if
Yeah.
you cancel your sit, it instantly
Then it goes away.
right?
Okay, yeah. I feel like that's cool. Yeah.
But just so you have like a clarity pre-buff if you really
That's
want.
the idea.
Yeah, that's
Because
good.
what happened like with last night? Like, sure, they won't know what potion I'm drinking, but they definitely heard me chug a pot, and then obviously I have to sit down, and then the team opens the door and they try and push me. So I guess yeah, it's just a little lame, a little bit.
Yeah, but those guys were walling, so it's different. But yeah.
I don't know about that, but maybe it would just help in the quality of life part, just to be able to like pre-queue it if you really wanted. Or drink it while you're sitting. That's another option.
Yeah,
Yeah, why
Easy
not?
Button
Like,
said, "How about using
yeah.
pots and bandages while sitting?" Totally makes sense to me.
That doesn't
I'm
make
super
sense. How do
cool
you
with
do
that.
Come on.
potions and do you drink while sitting? You guys are weird. Impossible.
I was
Yeah,
about to
I
take a sip
saw-
of my water. I was
This
going
is
to
a,
stand
this
up
is a
first.
fantasy game. Keep that shit out.
Yeah, I'm about
The
to stand up to
fantasy
drink this
guy.
water.
Also, that I can't move things around while I'm sitting. Like
That
I'm
would be
sitting on
crazy.
my fucking hands.
Yeah, that's got to change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got to
Are
change.
we
Alright, I saw a
still-
good
are we still
question.
getting- Go ahead, Donnie.
I was gonna say somebody brought up a good one. They said thoughts on Arena being a seasonal event instead of always on. Could be
Yeah.
fun for like Arena to be like an end to
I was
wipe
hoping it
fucking
would be
battle
like that.
royale.
Well, obviously the
More
weekend
like
would be weekend would be
weekend.
fun.
Weekend.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
2 hours every day, like 2 hours a night on the weekend, or maybe like 4 hours a night every
hours,
Friday,
open it
Saturday,
up.
Sunday.
I don't want to
yeah.
plan my weekend over
Yeah,
rather
I
than
just-
Arena's
well, you know what I'm
live.
saying?
Just open it up on the weekend, just like
Yeah.
Friday,
Yeah, I don't
Friday
want
to
to split
Monday.
the queues.
I have so many waiter and bartender friends that would be pissed if the thing they wanted to do in the game was going on when they were at work. That would suck.
Yeah, I think you should have like Arena Week,
Great.
like once a month if that's the idea,
Oh,
or maybe
that's a
have
good
it.
idea.
yeah,
Okay,
something
like
that.
a
This is what
week
Ken-
event, sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
This is
why
what
not?
Ken once said a long time ago. Do it like postseasons, where it's like at the end, right? It's like when the rank opens up, so you just prepare for that whole time and you get ready for it if that's something you really want to do. Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like that would help the game a lot, just making you like kind of build up to something, like LTMs or Arena or whatever else.
Yeah, you
I feel like
play
that'd be
the
a very
whole
nice change.
put the whole season grinding, bosses, farming, building up a bank, and then the last month, last 2 weeks, last whatever time frame is just arena. And now it's kind of like how it is now, where you build up a bank, and that last week you're just running of Abyss, and you're running to everybody playing names. But now it's just
Yeah.
like a
God,
sanctioned
it was
fight.
so good last season at the end.
Yeah.
Those last few
Minus
days
the
were
bottles.
insane.
Those last few fights.
Minus the bottles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a lobby
Yeah.
that was only artifacts, like people with multiple. They could have a main hand weapon and like a ranged,
Mhm.
or like a staff and a sword or whatever. It was so cool. We had like 20 artifacts in
Hmm.
one game,
Nice.
And we died immediately.
and we died immediately. Yes,
Mhm.
to an artifact
Uh,
team.
So bad.
Yeah.
You were gonna,
Mhm.
I think, ask a question from your chat or something.
This is just something that I thought up that I thought would be good, and I thought about it in the past, but I'm curious your guys' take. If between matches, like when you're going, let's say, Crypt to Inferno or Ice to Abyss, if you could change your perks and skills, like it's basically a long rest from Dungeons and Dragons. So I've wiped the lobby in Crypts. I know I'm going down to fight some hard bosses. It would be really cool to be like, you know what, I'm going to take Infernal Pledge or Undead Slaying or Purify. And then if
Yeah.
if there happens to be another team and they don't do that, they have a way better chance of killing me, right? Because I have like PvE
Right.
shit on now. But it would be cool if I could because most people don't take you can't really take Purify on Cleric unless you're just like PvEing, you're kind of just memeing. But it would be really nice to be able to swap to that when I get to Inferno.
Yeah. So
To add on to
Dude,
that,
I-
yeah,
I-
maybe even like hit vendors, like get potions. I'm out of potions. Maybe I can get a small resupply,
Yep.
get a few bandages, a few
Yeah.
pots.
Mm.
You got to
Well,
pause
they
and the
talked
other team as
about-
a cleric, bro. GG's.
Yeah.
They talked about
Yeah.
the idea for like the Dungeon Express thing, like while
Right.
you're
Yeah, I remember
sitting
that.
in between. Yeah, I
Exactly.
mean that could be. You could add that in there. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Something that would help in their like 3-layer adventure system, something to send stuff back, restock, go back deeper.
I love that idea so bad because post Wyvern, that's the only time I ever ran like PvE builds, bro, where I'm just like min-maxing for purely to raid. It was great. It's
Yeah.
an amazing
Mhm.
thing.
It was
Like,
cool.
and it's something
Yeah.
you never do in this game.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be really good.
Yeah.
I It reminds me of multi-classing. Like, it was really cool for a while to be like, I'm gonna take Undead Slaying, Infernal Pledge, and Purify on my rogue, and I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be like a weird little PvE
Yeah.
demon, and like that was fun, and it would be cool to do something like that again.
Yeah.
Now it's too dangerous. Also, as far as the HR topic, I would love to wait before you would do 3 difficulties until the Timmies catch up to us, right? Because now we have the biggest population surge we've ever had, and I feel like by next season we will have way more players going HR. Like, 'cause
Sure.
like HR is where the money's at. Like the artifacts are worth hundreds of thousands. It's the only place to get gold coin chest. That's like 100K right now. Troll pelt and mystical gems and SK drop more frequently. Like that's all just like
The loot is just
money.
so much better.
Yeah, it's way
On top of
better.
that.
I already feel like it's maybe it's because I'm
Yeah.
solo, and Donnie brought it up earlier with like how fast solo fills, but I get like a zillion players in HR. I barely ever see the same people.
Hmm.
I
I
think
don't
they're
know
like
if I'm a fan of why they added geared normals. They added it for the free to play experience, which I thought was a. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. I think it was kind of silly, but
I mean, I get why.
They
why
need bracket. They need another bracket.
I
That's
think
what
they need
do.
another bracket, but I understand why new
could buy
players,
the game.
new players that didn't know the context of the history of Dark and Darker, they
Mm.
try out the quote free looter extraction game. They go in, they extract with loot, and then they cannot use said loot. I get
Yeah, I
why.
completely understand.
Of course, like I mean, I get it. I get why people were upset.
They didn't see the full circle of, oh, okay, I'm just going to give this loot away to somebody who's going to use it properly. They never had that problem. They didn't understand that this was for their safety, you know. You're not supposed to stick your fork in the electric socket, but they want to try it because they've never been shocked to shit yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good way
Once
to
a
look
Yeah,
couple
at
I
it.
of
don't know.
times get through, yeah. I like the idea though, because now it added something for both of us. It added something for the free to plays where they can use the gear, they can experience the lobbies, and for all of the sweaties, we get to take their random bis and extract with it and sell it. So it's like it's nice because when you kill Timmy's in the normal plus lobbies, you kind of look over their stuff. You're like, all right, you know, oh, you had nothing, but oh, wait, you got a purple ring. You know?
That's funny.
Yeah, I think it just kind of diminished the buying the game experience. I think is where I kind of.
Sure.
But
Draw the
that's why
issue
I'm
a little
saying
bit.
with the
Yeah,
HR separation,
I
like
never
the
even-
HR is where you like make the money. Like even though like Norms and Norms Plus is like really good, there's nothing like HR for money making, especially Goblin. Like you
Yeah.
make probably like 10,000 an hour if you're actually winning. Like you can't really do that in Norms.
The Goblin Cave is insane
Yeah.
for money, but it's actually is insane.
Arcane, do you have any questions from your own brain that you'd like to ask? We haven't heard from you in a minute. Wake up, Scott. Wake up.
I'm awake. I'm awake. No, I don't have any questions right now. I do think Odin brought up something cool that I think you've mentioned on previous podcasts about having a third skill or perk or ability. I think having something that's like a core class identity, ability, or perk is a good idea. And maybe if we do what SoBad just recommended, that's less pressing. I think that's a great idea, by the way. Being able to swap out mid raid, like in between levels, is great. And like Donnie said, with the Expressmen, they're kind of laying the groundwork for having in-game NPCs. Like if the Expressman is functional this wipe, maybe question mark. I think Terrence was kind of hinting that was like pretty high up on the priority list for them. So if they get that working where you actually see an NPC in between levels, then yeah, you've got all the groundwork you need for other NPCs. So yeah, swapping out perks by talking to the, who would that be? That would be the, what was the trainer's name? I forget, from multi-classing already. What did they call the trainer?
The class master.
Class master, yeah. So if the class master could show up and allow you to do that, that would be cool. But yeah, I do like the idea of adding another either perk or skill flexibility, more of that, or adding a core class perk or skill and a third button to push.
Or just like an innate ability, like might as well just bake second win into fighters because it's 100% pick
Exactly.
rate.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like
Exactly.
undead slaying for clerics, or
Sure.
just something for everybody. And
Meditation on
cool.
wizard.
Yes.
Fucking-
Oh yeah, dude, that's so good.
Debate and
Yeah.
meditation would be great. Holy.
And then maybe like a
Yeah.
mini purify for cleric, like just another button that's
Sure.
PvE only, or like mostly PvE.
Right.
But you can cycle it. Maybe you can have more than one.
More button, more good.
Yeah, I was
Whoa,
gonna.
slow down there, ArcaneArmor.
No, actually, no. He's on to something. Like, you have your 4 perks, your 2 active abilities. But what if there was, the class defining feature, and you could kind of rotate what you wanted? So, like
One core passive for each class.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay, I'm a wizard. Do I want to choose to always have meditate essentially when I hit the G key, or do I always at any given time want a 6th spell on my spell wheel or something like that? Because shit like that I think would be really cool.
That's a good one.
Specialization, more focusing on
you
the
spec your class a
individual
little
classes.
bit more. Yeah. I think that'd be
That's
fun.
what I was
Like
talking about.
There's so many interesting ones you could do. Like you said, the six spell wheel, that's insane. Or like meditate, or you could have a light orb that just constantly circles you to reveal in biz.
Sure. Yeah. So let's cook a bit. So what would Druid get? Maybe like
Typhoon.
Or like when you summon something,
Force of nature, you can summon multiple treants at the same time, something like that.
Or your summon
an
has
ultimate even.
or your summon or your summon
know.
has to be killed. There's no time, there's no duration on it. Like it just has to be killed if you summon something. Like
I like that.
Something
It
like that.
respawns every 30 seconds after it dies, so then you just have it.
Yeah, something
so
like
it dies and it's gone for 30 seconds. It's like a dark reflection. You get a debuff when it's not alive, and then when that's gone, it pops back up again.
What would Rogue get? Quadruple jump?
No, just hide.
Lock picks and traps or stealth.
Bam,
or
right
like
there.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I'm joking about quadruple jump, chat. Relax.
Yeah, but Terrence is out there. He's like, that's actually a good idea.
Didn't they say flying barbarians one time? I don't know if they were trolling us, but who knows?
No, SDF was serious. What he say is like, doesn't like a flying barbarian with longbow and double jump sound crazy? I'm like, no, bro.
It sounds crazy.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, like go to the insane assault, you nut job. Like
I'm imagining like an 18 hours of coding SDF with like bloodshot eyes, and he's like, "Wait, I've got it." Multi-classing times 10. And everyone else is like,
Shit.
It kind of just sounds like an extra perk slot. Yeah, in a way. I suppose it kind of does.
Is.
Yeah.
It's like a specialization thing.
But it's like a class spec. Yeah. I think
It's
it sounds
basically
fun.
mini subclassing, I guess, kind of.
That's right.
In a way.
Yeah. It's
or
like,
the button thing. Like even for locks and traps for rogue, like it's just something you push, and then you have that for 30 seconds, and it goes on cooldown. And then the light orb that circles around the wizard, you push it. Like the cleric holy purification.
You could even just leave it on there as a passive. Like every class just gets a unique passive. Like cleric, 20% undead damage. Rogues, they get the lock picking.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Like druid has 5 reflect damage passive. Wizard gets 10% knowledge. Just everybody gets their own individual passives that define them as a class. Just something unique beyond your, agi, strength, dex template. One more little unique bonus.
I like it.
I see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we already have...
As long as it's nothing too strong, I don't think it can be bad.
Like I said, something,
Nothing
kind of
that
how
changes the
perseverance.
fights and stuff.
Non-damage based. Yeah.
Sure.
Or
Direct
PvE
damage.
even. It could be PvE based.
I like it
Yeah.
PvE
Sure.
based. Then
PvE
also
based,
you could
yeah.
have generic,
PvE
like
for
everybody
sure.
could take plus 25 luck. That way, like
Sure.
if you don't even have to
Good
think
one.
about it sometimes.
Okay. You want to do an MF run or something? So
Yeah.
someone said...
I really like the idea of that.
Yeah, someone said, what if there was another button to press? People forget that if you're not shooting a bow or having to reload something, you have the R key, the special key, right? So like if you have the lantern shield on, you press the R key, it turns on the light on the lantern, right? I feel like that R key, that special key, needs more use.
I play cleric.
Yeah.
I've never pushed it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's there. You know,
Right.
it's like it's a mappable key. What could we do with that special key? Maybe there's generalist skills that you can choose from, like a pool of skills that any class has access to, and you get to choose what you want in the special key. I don't know, something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I know,
I'm
I've
just
always said
cooking
More
over.
like
more
Yeah, it'd be
buttons
fun.
is
More
good.
more options is fun.
I think a stagger is good. Like if you play like Mordau or Mountain Blade. I know we don't want the game to become that, but I always say just having a kick, like a kick to
Kick would be
stagger,
fun.
the stagger parry would be good.
Hmm.
Stuff like that is always nice.
A
Oh, yeah,
kick
yeah.
just to get somebody off of you,
Sure.
off of melee range once they're on top of you. Because if they're on top of you, you're done. Like if you're not going to melee fight them.
Unless
Right.
you're a druid with Spirit Walk. And someone
Unless
in
you're a
chat,
druid.
someone in chat earlier said, "What up with Spirit Walk? You know, druid has so many outs." And it is true. Some classes, once someone's on you, unless you get really lucky,
Wizard.
yeah, you're probably gonna die. But druid gets a get out of jail free card with Spirit Walk, especially if you run that debuff buff build that I
And
was
rat.
talking about earlier. And rat, yeah. Do other classes need more escapes, if you will?
Disengage.
Like, should rogue have a shadow step? Should fighter have a kick so you can shove someone away from you and get away and reset a bit?
You could spitball on some ideas, cool stuff like that, like escape mechanics that you could tech into, or like maybe a perk for rogue where after taking damage you dodge the next swing. So, you know, let's say you get a fucking barbarian in the felling axe, you survive the first hit, you're guaranteed the next one to be a dodge, you know? Just kind of like cool little mechanics for him. Now it's like, oh, all right, you survive the first hit, you can evade the second hit and actually maybe even trade a swing or two and then run away from him. Or like druid gains a big armor buff after the first hit instead of just, you know, going invincible. How Phantomize is, because I don't like the idea of just being incorporeal and only damaged by AoE spells. Or like clerics regenerate every time they take, you know, they regenerate like 10% of the damage taken over 5 seconds. You know, just some kind of a passive survivability thing that each class gets. Similar to how we were talking about like a third perk slot that's a specialization, like an escape specialization for each of those classes.
Yeah.
All right, I see people are like kind of getting up about like, yeah, the last thing we want is more kiting.
Sure. Yeah.
In that same breath, do you think melee classes should just be outrunning range classes like crazy fast? Because I feel like in the case of like wizard, ranger, like warlock's the exception because they have phantomize, right? But like between like wizard and ranger, I feel like you are just dead if they get close to you. Like there's no other way around it, you know.
I'm destroying rangers on my barbarian.
Yeah, I bet.
It's
It's kind of a joke.
ridiculous. Yeah, it is a joke.
I guess
play
melee
barbarian.
should
Yeah,
be
but
faster.
if you step in a trap, you're literally dead. As like most classes, trap just
Don't,
helps
don't get me
dodge
started,
people.
bro.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Also, shotgun with 100% damage per arrow and armor pen now, like that erases people.
It's hardcore. Yeah.
They've got more options, but it's still a skill-based class.
I think kiting is great for the game. I think the problem with kiting, specifically in Dark and Darker, I've said it a lot. It's doors. Doors are the problem. I don't know how you fix it. Like kiting somebody in a vacuum
Universal
inside of a room
resourcefulness.
is great, but like once you start playing this fucking door game and you're just a class of that resourcefulness, I want to fucking skydive, you know, in game obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if you know, heavier two-hand weapons, any class wielding them can break down a door?
If every class had some reliable way
You're still
to get
swinging
through
it.
doors quickly
It's better than opening
at a
it, though.
cost, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's barbarians' innate class thing.
Yeah,
Is
crush.
they always have crush on.
Crush.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That makes sense to me.
Activatable, like you have it for 30 seconds when you push the button, and then it goes on cooldown.
Sure.
Something like that.
Yeah, some classes have no answer to like a door being shut in their face.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I think that's a bigger problem with map design, though, in my opinion. Be real with you, because like, I think whenever you play in the fucking square, there's a door everywhere. There's fucking like 5 doors around you. So
no matter how the map is designed, there will be doors somewhere. So, you know.
I know the doors are
Yeah.
cringe, but I feel like that's just preparation. Like you make a route and you leave 10 doors open. I feel like you know that's like the play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but sometimes
Doors,
it's only
they're annoying
one.
as fuck. Yeah, but like
is it a good
you know,
play though?
you can play for that. You can play for
It's
that.
not fun. It's not
Maybe, yeah.
good. It's and it's usually what makes me lose the fight. Is
But
just
It's
all right.
tactical, maybe.
The
So-
only
so wait,
thing is, typically you can leave. Like, does it always have to end in them dying? Because like a lot of times when they're like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it, when they're door fondling, and I'm like, fuck, this is so dumb. I'm
Door
like,
fondling.
I'm like,
Let's
trying to
never
counter
call
it.
it anything
But
else.
I never leave. I'm always like, fuck this guy. Like, I'm gonna get him, and then like I
You
go
know
in there
what
and
that
hit you with
is?
a two-hander, and I die. And I'm
Pissing
like,
me off.
I
Yeah,
He
that's
earned
called
that
me off,
escape,
but,
bro.
like-
He earned
No,
that
no, no.
shit.
That's
Yeah,
called
like,
not a
yeah.
cleric player. That's called not a fucking cleric player because they start closing doors on you as a cleric. You just walk away. You don't chase that shit. You don't engage. The
Bro.
moment the door is closed, I wash my hands of you and I fucking walk away.
You're not
That's it.
built right,
I'm done
alright?
with you.
Just
Build-
That
pop
doesn't
smite
change.
And
Build
smack
interaction.
me with your torch, bro,
Build-
and then
I
you'll
will-
never lose someone again.
All right, hear me
It's
out.
just-
Hear me out. Let me just random idea, probably awful, right? Let's just say you open door, right? You go through the door and you close it. And if you just close the door behind you, it's not locked. So the next person that goes through it can open it really quickly. But if you take the extra time to lock the door, it's not
Oh, I
locked per
like
se.
that.
Like
But
locking a
hold-
chest.
hold
like
that.
You open
closing
it
a
at normal
chest.
speed, yeah.
Ah, I like that.
I like
Yeah.
that. That's a
Yeah,
decent
that's
one.
actually good.
At
Yeah,
least for like
Doors have
5
three
seconds or
status,
something.
yeah.
Well, not to lock it. It just like it would just if you lock it per se, it would just return it back to normal open speed. But if it was
Mhm.
open previously and closed quickly, the next person that's like chasing you could open that door quickly. So
It's
you
like when you're
like,
opening a chest because they, you
Exactly.
reopen a chest immediately. But if you've closed the chest, then you got to go through the little grabby hands
Yeah,
second
exactly,
animation.
that.
Exactly.
Or if we have that kick thing, you can kick the door, and then it does damage to them if they're just standing on the other side waiting
Sure,
to close
dude.
it again.
I
I'll,
like
I'll breach
that.
in there. I'm
Yeah,
breaching.
breach, dude, breach.
That's a good one. That's probably like the best solution to the door endemic.
SDF.
Endemic.
STF, are you typing? No, he's not in here.
I don't know.
It's
I'm
just
maybe
silly.
I'm biased or something. I feel like if you leave a path of 10 doors open and you drag the person who's really bloodthirsty to them, you earn that shit. You know what I mean? It's the
Sometimes-
same
yeah,
way
Look,
with,
I
like,
agree.
you
I just
swing
think
your
it's not
sword
fun.
9 times at one guy and he dodges all 9. It's like, you gotta stop swinging, bro. My man earned it. You know, he just dodged you 9 times. It's embarrassing. You should feel embarrassed.
Or with a cleric, one
Mhm.
door. One door. Just one. That's it. That door is closed. I'm like, all right, cool. Bye. It's
That's
the reason I talk about using smite. When I hit
You
smite,
can't have
it's
everything.
like you just have to walk away from them. Like I'm
You
gonna hit
can't have
smite. I'm gonna
everything.
hit you. Oh, you turned away. I'm walking away. Goodbye.
Not anymore, dude. 3/5 plague clerics with agility are fast as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Seriously,
still,
when they
not
hit you
faster
with
than a
might,
closed
with,
door.
what is it, faithfulness or whatever? Like I'm a rogue without a chest piece, and I get hit with smite, and it's just GG.
See, I always say the
I
cleric
cannot
problem.
escape anymore.
It's not a cleric issue. The problem is the gear. It's like because the same problem
Mm.
with fighters. Just like clerics abuse it a little bit more because they're so used to being slow. It's just like you're too fast
you
for
don't
how
like the
tanky you are.
You don't like the full plate fighter popping sprint and move speed cap swinging his weapon the whole time?
No, I don't like the full play fighter. I Boosty Cap not pressing sprint because he has taunt second win and he's still running me down without sprint.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
ridiculous. That
Yeah,
drove
you're
me
right.
nuts. I mauled it for an hour after that. Anyway,
The age of plate is here. Go fuck yourselves.
I'm getting run down by
No.
60% PDR. No sprint fighter. I cannot believe it.
You can even run down as a cleric.
Yeah.
It feels good. I was spending all day today originally helping Timmy's out, and then something changed, and I began to murder them. And I was just starting with 1v2s and doing 1v3s on normal base kit plate cleric and just walking
Sounds
people
like
down,
cleric, bro.
two-tapping every single person in the game except for barbarians.
you
They
were.
take 3 bonks, but yeah, it's
Wow.
vile. It's very vile.
Look at you.
So why are you
I'm just
complaining
saying,
about
bro.
cleric right now?
Yeah,
It's just normals,
yesterday-
bro.
Yesterday I was playing wizard. I'm wearing full robes, got everything on. No move speed. I had a couple points of agility. There he is. 5 slot plate cleric. 5 more move speed bait me. That makes
Yeah.
no sense. In what world does that make sense? It doesn't.
I'm weak
That's
to
fun.
magic, though.
No, you're not. You have 90% MR. No, you're not.
Dude, I hit the desk. Like I'm a rogue without a chest piece on, and I have jokester, and here comes like 3 or 4 fists play cleric, and he's just zooming, and I'm like, what world is this? He's at 102% move speed. He's in plate, dude.
Yeah.
That
I
does
agree,
make me.
yeah.
But it's also expensive. So like I don't know if they run loose trousers and double move speed light footies, like that's
Yeah,
a
to-
lot of money.
The
Yeah,
kits
if
I've
you
seen of the
build
people
for
that are
it,
killing
sure.
you. Yeah, there's a big amount of money in there.
Yeah.
And like
all-
Ken was saying, is like that used to be the trade-off, right? Like you trade off some PDR to gain the speed. You trade off whatever to get the speed.
now you
Like,
have both.
Yeah, now you
now
have
you have
both.
both,
That is
exactly.
true.
And then the worst case, you just wear like a robe with some cloth pants and you just run divine protection and you're still PDR. And it was like, what the hell? I'm jealous. Must be nice to be a cleric right now.
It
What do you
is.
think,
It's
RJ?
thoroughly
Yeah.
good.
Ah,
It is.
I bet it is.
Finally.
Disgusting.
All right, boys.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
let's
say
wrap this up.
we're
Gentlemen.
over 2 hours. Let's take one more question or say our goodbyes. You guys choose.
We can do like a 5-minute
fun.
break and then go another 2 hours.
No, I would
What
like
is
to
this,
get
an NBoss
I
stream?
would like to get dinner after this. I'm starving.
This guy eats.
Yeah, you know, I eat food once in a while. Who knew? All right. I don't see any good questions right this second, so we can end it here. Boys, this was a good one. We did a lot of cooking, a lot of theory crafting, and it was fun. You guys are always a joy. TheEndBoss, I'm so happy that you're on Hold the Line. I am going to try to catch the next episode, and I want to see you on that podcast doing your thing, because you're always a great guest. Arcane, you were quiet this episode. We got to get you on soon, solo. Get you talking.
Anytime, man. No, it was a pleasure.
Beautiful.
Like you said, we were cooking it up here. It's just fun to listen.
Hell yeah, brother. So bad. Thanks for allowing us to all, make fun of you with the sunglasses tonight. You're a good sport.
I'm the homeless Bradley Cooper. All right, every podcast needs one.
Homeless Bradley Cooper.
Seriously.
Ken, you're beautiful, sir. Thank you for
You too,
joining,
man.
as always.
Of course.
Jay, Donnie, I always see you guys, so whatever. Just kidding. I love you guys. Donnie, where can people find you on the internet
Wow.
machine?
I have old YouTube videos on Didani, and then also I stream sometimes. So yeah.
Beautiful. Mr. Griffia?
Jay Griffey on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube.
Wonderful. Mr. Ken?
It's always so cringe.
Twitch and YouTube
Like and
at KenKnobi. Don't follow me on Instagram. It's cringe, so I'm not even going to say it.
All right. Okay. Now
Definitely
people
gonna
are
look now.
100 because you said that you're going to get
See,
more engagement on Instagram.
That's the trick, bro. Okay.
Okay, you're a genius. Okay. So bad.
I love my dungeon delvers. You can find me at SoBadStrange, YouTube and Twitch. I got the guides, the tricks, and the tips.
Hell yeah.
Guy's a pitch, dude. What the frick?
Thanks, Mr.
Jesus.
Thanks, Mr. Cooper. TheEndBoss.
Now the TheEndBoss on Twitch and I think Twitter, and that's pretty much it. YouTube is useless.
All right.
My YouTube
Fair.
sucks.
That doesn't have to forever, though. You can do it. I believe
No.
you. Mr. ArcaneArmor.
YouTube's the best. So ArcaneArmor on YouTube and just ignore Twitch.
Okay.
Complete 180.
All right.
There you go.
Diversity in here as I look at a bunch of white dudes and a half Asian guy. Okay. Wonderful.
What?
Very diverse. I'm just at Soma. It was a joke. Relax. I'm at Soma on pretty much everything except YouTube. It's just @_Soma. And you can watch this podcast there or Dungeons and Dragons. Doesn't everyone like watching D&D?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, not really, to be honest.
Yeah.
Never. I have no experience with it still.
Yeah, no one. I think there's
You've
some
never
use.
played? You
Never.
giga nerd, brother. If I had,
Never.
I would be dead. Like I would have betted my life that you play D&D.
Not a
What?
day. Never.
Oh,
Wait,
shit.
why do you say that, Donnie?
Damn.
Listen, I
Damn,
love
I feel like
it.
I'm being
Look at him, bro.
typecast.
Brother, you're not.
Look
D&D's
at
great.
him.
I play D&D. All right, we're all good. But I swear, dude, you would love D&D. You would get on top of
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
TheEndBoss
you're like the
is,
RP guy.
Definitely a LARPer.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
And an RPer.
Yep.
So like,
Uh,
imagine GTRP, but with swords.
In Dark and Darker.
Mm,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's too much effort. Too much effort.
I
That
like
sounds
it.
awful.
I would.
Hey, I
think
get it. It
would
is a
do
time
that.
investment.
Look, so my BRDM. All right, we'll do Tuesdays.
Okay. Let's do it.
Sounds awful.
I'm dead.
Anyway,
Roll for it.
you guys are beautiful. This was a great episode, as I knew it would be. Thank you guys so much for joining. And obviously, of course, we'll get you guys on again. Donnie and Jay, always a pleasure. Chat, thank you guys for watching. You guys were actually kind of pleasant tonight, chat. Thanks.
It was
It was
nice.
very nice. You guys were nice. Thank you for being.
I liked the solidarity with the sunglasses too. You guys crushed
Yeah,
it.
like I said, these count.
These
Cows
count.
in the sun. Yeah.
Yeah, that all counts. Yeah.
We're all
Jay pulled
there.
his hat down. It was kind of similar.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I put those on and like my third monitor like blacked out because I think my glasses are polarized, so it made me nervous.
Oh yeah, I have the same thing going right now. I have to keep my head a certain way.
I feel like it means like your eyes are gonna burn or something. I don't know.
No.
I'm no scientist.
No, that definitely checks out.
All right, that'll do it for episode 65. We will be back next week for episode 66 with the Spud Hunter. Should be a good one. Always love having Spuddy on. His content's been hilarious lately. He's enjoying the game again. Isn't that nice? That's nice for him. And then we're going to have Not Like This on the week after. Love that guy's videos. And then we're going to have Soda popping on for episode 68. And then episode 69 is going to be Donnie hosting the Scuffedest Hour. Isn't that going to be great? It's going to be great. I know. I'm nervous. It's going to be good. So we got a few weeks of awesome podcasts coming up. So keep watching on Twitch. Keep watching on YouTube.
Can't wait to get roasted in the comments for being useless again. Nice. All right, let's get in there.
Oh, poor Griffia. Hey, that's on you, brother.
Guys.
Gotta read comments.
Yeah, don't read the comments.
We'll make it better.
Don't be like me. Don't read the comments.
This guy can read.
Not me.
All right, boys. Thanks again. Chat. Have a great night. We'll see you guys next week for episode 66.
All right. Later.
Arrivederci.
Later.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
See ya.